Well, actually...
I'm watching the rise, and I wouldn't say I'm shocked cause I'm hardly surprised. This one's for the ride, this one's for who knew I'd make it, just needed some time. This one's for my wife, could've left 1,000 times just about my side. This one's for the grind, I knew it would happen, just had the strength in my mind.
It's the Travel OG, and welcome to the Black Manosphere Conclave 5.0!
We got started in 2021 in Atlanta, united in the pursuit of excellence in all things. It's been one hell of a ride.
Can I tell you what's on my mind? Cause I've been thinking about it for quite some time. Hey, can you give me a moment to declare my love? Can I tell you what's on my mind?
We're now focusing more on opportunities for men, in particular passport bros. Guys who go abroad, they want to have a different lifestyle, they want to have a different achievement abroad. Oh yeah, there's without a doubt the narrative has changed for us greatly.
I just finished speaking and having a chance to tell individuals about how to live the American dream outside of America. And I was here to help so many men when it comes to understanding what they need to do in order to relocate.
With the political climate, things that are happening worldwide, guess what? Nobody's coming to save us. So it is indicative that we all bound together, tighten up like a fist, and strike a mighty blow against everything that's fighting to stop us, man.
It's nothing but good, positive people, good, positive energy with one goal in mind, and that is to make money, get the hell out the Matrix, and enjoy your life. You dig? So shout out to all of y'all. Theme music!
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is your man Marcus A. Brown, and I'm here to tell y'all that I just got done with my first consultation with the brother Andre of Love Crossing Borders. I just wanted to give him his praises. I need y'all to do two things if you haven't already. If you haven't, subscribe to his YouTube channel, Love Crossing Borders. Also, if you are going to Colombia, if you're thinking of going anywhere, traveling internationally, please consider booking a consultation with the OG Andre of Love Crossing Borders. You will not be disappointed. And y'all, get in tune with him if you haven't already. Tell him MAB sent you. Peace.
Where are all the black men? And I'm not talking about the scammers, the drug dealers, the robbers, and the crooks.
Well, actually...
There you on a Friday night with your boy Andre of Andre and Andre's Love Crossing Borders. Look like we're going to have a little bit of issues when it comes to the struggle stream. But hey, that's not going to slow us down because we got a great show topic for tonight. We got an interview tonight. Shout out to all you guys with a brother who wants to share with us his side of the story of what's taking place. And we're going to talk about the new faces of tourism in Colombia. Some of these faces are going to sound familiar to you, but others are dominating. We're going to also talk about which group or which individuals dominate when it comes to tourism here in Colombia. And that's why Colombia is leaning so much in their direction and not in other directions. Once again, tonight, we're going to talk about which group, whether it be the expats, whether it be the guys that come down here for the ladies, which group dominates tourism in Colombia. And so Colombia has decided to go in that particular way. It might just surprise you which group that they're leaning towards. Shout out to all you guys that are here tonight. Let's get some music going. There we go. Let's get some shout out music going for you guys. We're just going to be waiting for our guest to show up. We had a really good show last night, man. Shout out to our girl once again, Mariah Sincere. Make sure you guys subscribe to her YouTube channel, Instagram, her as well as TikTok. Make sure that you subscribe there as well. She has great content over there as well. Let's give her a first shout out to our brother Will. Will with the 20,000 Colombian pesos. All right, sexy boo, love you too. I'm just about to go hang out with the family. And salute to my brother Will. Salute to you as well, brethren. Salute to you as well. I appreciate you more than you realize, brother. He said, salute Andre, and chat family. Please smash that like button. The like button invites others into the live stream. We're gonna have a full show tonight, gentlemen. Full show tonight. As well as when it comes to smash the like button, support by way of Cash App. Yes, thank you guys for supporting by way of Cash App. We're able to do a lot of things faster instead of waiting for you guys to lose 40% of whatever you donate by way of super chats. But thank you also for super chats. Thank you for supporting the channel. He said, keep it classy during the interview, gentlemen. Yes, please. Thank you very much, Will. Thank you for saying that. I know a lot of us are going to have our comments, our 2 cents, in other words, tonight. Let's be respectful to all individuals that come up on the platform. We've always done that. One thing I can say, we've tried our best to be gentlemen here on this platform. Shout out to all you guys in regards to that. Correct. Use your critical thinking and respect. Be respectful. Absolutely correct. I like how you put that, Will. I like how you put that. Yes, sir. Let's scroll back up to numero uno. We got Kenny Peoples. I just finished texting our guest to make sure that everything's going to be up to par with him. You know, he's in Las Vegas, so he's a few hours behind us. So it may take him a little while to get everything in order, but I just wanted to make sure. I have a video that he sent me from of a video. Oh, you said you're in? Let me make sure Oh, okay. You said he'll be here in 1 minute. All right, guys. While he'll be here in a moment, gentlemen, let's. I was just saying that he sent me some video clips from when he was actually in the holding unit in Medellin, along with the white T dude, the crazy white dude that was going from school to school here in Medellin, and then he was the one that did the death threats of the black superintendent in New York. He was kind of fleeing from the United States. Fled from the United States, if you will. Came down to Medellin, threatening schools and children down here in Medellin. They caught him, and my brother Capo was in the same holding cell with this crazy dude. So we got video footage. So you know your boy Dre, king of the receipts. Shout out to him. He said, let me get my last bag of popcorn. Get my last bag of popcorn. Yeah, you're gonna need a big bowl tonight, gentlemen. You're gonna need a big bowl of popcorn tonight because it's gonna get crazy. We got 30 people in the building. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Appreciate you being here. Should have saved the last bag of popcorn for Obi-Land. But we got Obi-Land coming up next week as well. He said just ahead on eats the last bag of popcorn, so forth and so forth. Shout out to my brother Kenny. Shout out to David Dykes being in the building. Salute to you. I got just enough time to give a shout out, so I can't read what everybody is saying, but I got enough time to give a shout out to you, gentlemen. Shout out to my brother Don, aka Don JP, in the building, as well as my brother, the Southern Vegan, LJ, that is. Shout out to you being here, brethren. Appreciate you guys. Once again, shout out to my brother Will being here, supporting by way of PayPal already with the $5 love. Appreciate that, brother. Really appreciate that each day, each time, as well as we appreciate our brother Tevin King being in the building. Yes, sir. Greetings, Andre, and everyone in the chat. Shout out to my man Delwyn in the building. Hey, Justin, we're about to have a good one tonight, brother. We're about to have a good one tonight. Yes, sir. We're going to let a brother clear some things so we'll all know the truth about what took place and some of the things that may have come to mind for him. So, yeah, definitely. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you put it in the comment, put it in the chats so we can get to them. All right. My brother's here already. Shout out to the last person I'm going to give a shout. I'm going to do 3 more shout outs. because my brother has just gotten here, and I just want to get to him. I don't want to hold his day up. It is still daytime where he is in the wonderful city of my Raiders. Shout out to my Raiders, Las Vegas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, yo, Dre, Mr. and Mrs. Spence, good afternoon. Shout out to you, Jay Kaysen. And IMF is in the building. And the last person I'm going to give a shout out to, and blame it on my head, now my heart, is my brother, Charles. They're in Mexico. Shout out to Charles. But the last shout out I'm giving is to all you guys that are here for this particular live stream. We appreciate you gentlemen being here. And we appreciate you guys being, just like Will said, make sure we keep our comments respectful. We have 2 cents to share. Okay, cool. But make sure that you always be respectful with any guest here. And one thing I can say about this channel, we have always held that to our chest, man, being respectful to each other. In other words, like AMSM, a man supporting men. Shout out to all you guys here. I see Kobe here and Fritz being here, George in the building. Let's get started with my brother. Let me pull this up real quick. Let's change the music.
Yo.
Yeah, hey, brother. How's your day going? Still daytime where you are, huh?
Yeah, it's still daytime. Well, we wrapping up. It's 5:30.
Okay, it's slowing down then. It's slowing down. How's your day going, brother?
It's going beautiful, man. It's going beautiful. You know, good to be back home. It's always good to be back home. I've been gone for so long. You know, at the end of the day, I'm always happy to have an excuse to come to Las Vegas. You know, being deported isn't that bad when you're going to Las Vegas. You know, it's like, oh no, Las Vegas.
I'll take that.
To Vegas. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Quite a few of us are going to be in your city for the Black Manosphere Conclave this September, the first weekend of September. We have the Black Manosphere, a Black tech event, if you will, every year for the last 5 years. This will be year number 6 of Black men coming from all over the country, really all over the world, because I'll be flying in and I'll speak there. This up and coming year is going to be the first weekend of September, like it always is, and it's going to be in Vegas. So I can't wait to do a tour of the stadium.
Yeah, the stadium's beautiful. The stadium's beautiful. Like right around the time when I left to move to Colombia, the stadium had only been at that point maybe like a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years old, but it was still pretty new. Best stadium I've ever been to for sure.
Wow. I can't wait. I already know what when they do the daytime tours. So I got all that set up, and so I'm ready. I've been a Raiders fan since I was 12 years old in the 80s, man.
Yeah, the OG. The Vegas Raiders, you know, they're an implant team, but, you know, it's all good. There's still the same energy, still the same love. And Las Vegas is nothing but California transplants anyway, so everybody, you know, is pretty much from Cali.
Oh, there we go. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm about all my gear, apparel. Guys have brought me down jerseys down here to Colombia from Vegas whenever they go. So I've been able to get hats from up there as well as jerseys. But I'm looking forward to seeing all of it for myself this September.
Well, I don't think I'll be here still, but if I am, I got you. You know, I got you. I got the connections either way. I got you.
Deal. Okay, let me ask you this. I was going to say, you know what? We're going to save this to the end because you and I already discussed the direction that we're going to take it, because you just said that you're not going to be there, but we'll talk about that towards the end.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's talk right now about what we guys, the foundation that we're going to use, in which me and my brother discussed, is we're going to talk about his travel past, his travel present, in which most of us have heard about, and then we're going to talk about the future of his travels. Because one monkey, one country don't stop no show, in other words, based off of what we say in America. One person doesn't stop a show. And so our passports can be stamped in more than one country. So we're going to listen to what he has to say in regards to the future plans of travel that he has. Let's get started, Chill, when it comes to some of the places that you've already gone to.
So that is a detailed story, just because my mom was in the military. So I'm a military brat. I'm a military veteran myself. I was in the Air Force. So, you know, I got to see the world since basically day one. I had a passport since day one. Original passport, bro, since 1984. And
There we go.
you know, so I've been seeing the world. You name it, Portugal. The first country I ever went to was Portugal. I was in Portugal first. From Portugal, we went back to New Jersey. I was born in New Jersey originally, and you know, my mom just was on this thing where she just didn't want to stay put in one place. So every time they offered an assignment, she took it. No matter where they offered it, she took it. So I've been to Japan twice. I went to high school in Aviano, Italy. That's like an hour from Venice, Italy.
Okay, Kobe.
Everywhere, man. Panama, all up and down Latin America. So, you know, and then about 7 or 8 states in between those different international spots. Texas, VA, North Carolina, California, Las Vegas, obviously, Jersey, Florida. You know, I just bounced around.
So you've always been able to know, and basically it's in your DNA. Traveling is in your DNA.
Yeah, 100% since day one. You know, first airplane flight I ever took, I was 1 year old.
Oh wow! So a lot, and that's the amazing part, because a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that maybe Colombia was the first place that you'd gone to, and even based off of the video clips that you sent me, you mentioned going to Japan. So that's when I realized, I said, this brother has a story to tell just based off of some of his travels. Can you name off some of your favorite spots that maybe some guys might want to go to?
Everywhere has it just depends on what you're looking for, what you're trying to do. My favorite place that has nothing to do with partying or anything like that was probably, I say, Greece. Greece was probably the most beautiful place that I've ever been to. I did my wedding out there when I used to be married. I got married in Greece in Santorini. So that was really some boss background and vibes out there. I like the Philippines a lot. I mean, a lot of guys shoot for the Thailand and all that, but while I was on that side of the world, I used to hit the Philippines a lot, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a beautiful place, great islands. The food is incredible, and the language barrier isn't that extreme, just because, you know, in the Philippines they do speak English also. So I liked it out there. Romania is a sleeper place. Slovenia is a sleeper place. Love black men in Slovenia and Romania. Like they rock with us heavy, even though you don't see it on the internet. When you land, you'll understand.
There you go. There you go. Let me ask you this, because what I'm trying to do is lay a foundation so guys will understand who you are, because we all basically know you from your informative content on social media. So a lot of guys don't know this side of you, as far as like, wait a minute, this is not my first rodeo, gentlemen. I've been doing this. So that's the foundation I want to lay. So a lot of assumptions don't be made. A second assumption that I didn't want to be laid is that people assume that you're just a party traveler. And that's another reason why I wanted you to not only come on when you reached out to me, and I appreciate that. But also I wanted to lay the foundation of your travels are based off how you just described them, are not just about all the parts where, hey, the ladies are here, the ladies are there. The ladies are everywhere.
Oh no, the ladies are everywhere, man. If you are who you are, it doesn't matter what soil you put your feet on, you're gonna make it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm you know, people are like, oh, you created this chill Capo persona. I was like, I've been called Capo since I was 15 years old, when I was living in Italy, running around, you know, with my Italian homeboys, and we used to play basketball, and the name Capo was like, yo, he like the captain of the team, because I was the tallest person. I'm 6'4". So playing in the street, I used to play street ball, and I played for my school. So in my neighborhood, I used to play against, you know, a bunch of 6'7", 6'8", 6'5", you know, teenagers. Europeans are really tall by nature. So, you know, I used to be the youngest guy on the team, but you know, they trusted my aggression and my American style of playing ball. And they was like, yo, Capo, you like the Capo de tutti capo, like in Italian, the boss of bosses, you know what I mean? So I've had that name since I was 15 years old. It wasn't I came to Colombia and created this persona. Somebody had said to me in one of my comments, don't you think Capo is the worst name to choose if you're starting a life in Colombia? And I said, do you change your name every time you change cities or locations? Do you change your name?
You know what? I'm glad that you gave clarity to that. I was going to ask about it, but then I was like, you know what, Dre, that's none of my business per se, because I didn't want to stereotype your name either. It's great to see that you gave us some clarity. Secondly, I already knew you were a tall dude from the videos. So I was like, okay, I'm 6'3". This brother got to be up here in this family with us. He got to be like 6'5", because I saw you when you came off the bus and how you were towering over the guys. I was like, oh, this brother got some height. Yeah, so now can and plus you played ball overseas. That's in high school and so forth.
For sure. Yeah, in Italy I used to play ball, and then when I was in the military, I played on the Air Force team for our base team. So we used to travel around, go to Hawaii, go to Europe. We used to go to Japan all the time and play in the different tournaments and stuff. So, I played ball up until like age 21, and then I seen professionals blowing out their knees and all sorts of crazy stuff, and I caught like a little hamstring injury, and I was like, I'm done, because I'm not getting paid for this like that. So I'm cool, man. I just focus on getting to the money after that.
Other than English, what language would you say that you're most fluent in?
Probably would be Spanish. My mom is from Panama, so I grew up with Spanish household a lot. My mom is Panamanian and my father's Jamaican. But the crazy thing about all of this, my grandmother is Colombian. My grandmother is from Cartagena. So all of the comments and all the backlash, gringo, get out of our country. I'm like, yo, es en mi sangre también, yo. No soy, you know what I'm saying? No soy gringo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Got this shit in my blood, man. It's in my blood. They judging and they don't understand. I look just like them. I look just like the costeños and everybody on the coast. I got the chinky eyes. That's how you know I got the chinky eyes. Everybody in Panama, they got the little chinky eyes because the Panama Canal, obviously the Asians going through the Panama Canal. It makes sense. It all starts to add up. So,
Absolutely.
Everybody always say you're not really black. Are you black? Like, what are you? Are you half Asian? What are you? And I'm like, I'm Afro.
I can see that. And since one of my closest friends in the States is Panamanian, his family is first generation to the States, and you got that same complexion that he got too, that same kind of like red undertone in your complexion compared to the average brother in the States. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My brother Will says this about the Eastern Bloc. He said the Eastern Bloc countries love black men. He said he speaks facts. Eastern European and lots of foreign Hungary. Let's not forget Hungary.
Yeah, my ex-wife was Romanian, you know what I mean? So I used to go to Romania all the time, Bucharest, Pitești, the Black Sea, I did it all. It was love out there, man. I'm glad my wife was close by because it was love, man. Everywhere I went, they was showing, they didn't know if I was an NBA player or rapper. They just see me walk in with my wife and, her 3 sisters, and they're like, oh, whoever he is, give him the best table, give him whatever he wants. It was always love out there. So I was like, man, if it's a little bit too cold for me, but if things didn't work out, Eastern Europe got some spots I wouldn't mind laying my head.
For example, give me 2 countries that you kind of thought about. Romania and another one.
Romania is good. Slovenia is incredible. It's very well slept on, a little quiet, small spot, but it's incredible. And just because I lived there before, I wouldn't mind living there again. Italy was great. I loved Italy. Italy was great to me. Like, I had the best years of my life. I am who I am because of those 3 years that I spent in Italy. 100%.
Wow, that's what Kobe Bryant said. All his friends were in. He said, all my true best friends are in Italy, not the States. He said, I appreciate the States. He said, but my real friendship and my real childhood is in Italy. My wife's family, my wife has a lot of family from Colombia that moved to Italy. And so we went to Spain and France and UK and a couple other countries a couple years ago. But next year we're heading to Italy for a while.
Wow, Italy's great. Northern Italy or Southern Italy?
Northern. They're up there in the cold.
Yeah. I was in the north. I don't know. I like Southern Italy. Southern Italy is a vibe. Like that's more. It's kind of like if Northern Italy is Medellin, Southern Italy is Cartagena and Cali.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I took it with Italy and Spain, because I'm coming from Florida, so I ain't trying to be up north in the cold. I'm born and raised in Detroit, so once I got out the snow, I ain't trying to go back to the cold like that. I'll visit, because it was close to because her family is close to where you can get to Switzerland and you can get to Germany, like that. That's how close up north they really are.
Right.
And but I was examining, like, what if we lived in Italy or in Spain? And I'm looking in the like you said, in the south, because it's warmer and it does have a different type of vibe and an energy about it compared to northern Italy.
100%. I definitely like the weather better in the south. It's definitely a little bit warmer. Get a little bit of light snow up north, but nothing crazy. But still, it's just cold enough that it's like, yeah,
right.
If I have a choice, I'm going with the heat all day
long. Same thing with Portugal. I was looking at southern Portugal while everybody else was like Lisbon. I'm like, but I know it has its chill moments like Bogota. And so I'm like, let me see what southern Portugal is like compared to, the mid or the northern parts of Portugal. Some areas are just cool to visit, not necessarily to relocate. What brought you to Colombia? Let me ask you that. Or was Colombia not your first South American country? Maybe it was a different one.
No, like I said, I've been to Panama when I was younger, coming to see my family. I never really got to connect with my Colombian family members, but we had spoken through like cousins and stuff like that before, communicated, but never got to actually link with them. What initially brought me to Colombia was I went to Cabo for my birthday, for my 35th birthday. I think it was my 35th birthday. Went to Cabo, group of friends, and we just spent a ridiculous amount of money. And granted, it was a great time, had a good time. We brought some lady friends with us from Vegas and LA, and we all just kicked it in a mansion, and it was all good. It was good, classic, birthday vibes in Mexico. Nothing wrong with it. But we were just like, man, for the money that we spent, I don't know. I don't know if Mexico's it. Like the next birthday got to be somewhere else. So my other friend, it was his birthday the following month, this February. We're in February. I was born in January. So he was like, hey, bro, like, let's just go to Colombia. And I was like, okay, why not? I never really heard nothing much about it. I knew I had some family ties out there, but it wasn't really on my radar of like to do right after Mexico. But he just insisted, and he came with me to Mexico. So I'm like, shit, I'll return the favor. Let's do Colombia. And he was like, Cartagena and Medellin. I'm like, man, I feel like everybody only talks about Cartagena. I never see nobody talk about Medellin. So let's go to Medellin and let's see what the hype about. We like Narcos and all that stuff. Let's go see if it's really like that. Let's go see if it's like that, because Narcos held us down all through COVID. So I was I don't think it's still like that or not. So we went, stayed for a week, had an incredible week, made a lot of good connections out there. I was like, man, there's something to that. So I came back to Vegas after probably like 2 weeks in Vegas. I was like, man, I miss Colombia. My boy called
familiar.
My boy called me up and he's like, oh, when you think about going back anytime soon? I'm like, man, we could go back tomorrow. It don't matter to me. Like I just, the week wasn't enough. Man. We can go back tomorrow. It ain't nothing. Copa Airlines, baby. I'm a gold status member. Let's run it.
I kid you not, man. I told dudes, man, when I got back after crying on the plane, mind you, and I'm going back to Tampa. I'm going back like you, going back to a really nice city. And man, I'm sitting up there. I told guys the other day, I sat back and I was plotting I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to be bothered with anybody. I spent my time plotting for my next trip back to Colombia. And I've been to a lot of countries, but it was the first country that I sat back and I said, yeah, let me get ready to head back real quick as soon as possible.
I've been to a lot of places. I think I use this app called BEN, BEEN, and you can, put in all the places that you've been and traveled to. And according to BEN, I've seen 23% of the world.
Wow.
So I'm like, damn, that's pretty good. That's pretty cool, but there's more out there. So at that point, Colombia wasn't on the list. So I was like, let's do it again. And this was the first time that I went somewhere internationally, and it didn't occur to me like, oh, I should wait, for 6 months next year. Let's go back there again next year. I said, nah, there is no next year. What we doing now? What are we doing next week, next month? Like I'm ready, because I work remote. So it doesn't matter where I am. Ultimately, like as long as I can open my phone and my computer, that's my office.
I love it. I try to tell guys about the value of working remote business, remote opportunities. A lot of us are in cloud engineering classes. Shout out to our brother Theo Wolf and all the guys that are taking their classes now to get their cloud engineering certifications and get hired for online job opportunities. You are absolutely correct. As long as you're working remote or have a remote business or something that's established, you can live in just about any part of the world as long as they got good Wi-Fi.
For sure. As long as you got good Wi-Fi, man, you're going to make it work.
That is so true. Okay, so you came to Colombia and you came back. When was it that you decided, you know what, I think I want to stay here a little while?
So initially, the first trip was 1 week. A month later, the second trip was 2 weeks. I took 2 months back in Vegas, was just working. I own a media page, Las Vegas Scoop. It's a big media page in Las Vegas, the TMZ of Las Vegas, similar to what you see, what you see in Medellin, and we'll get into that later, I'm sure. But so I was locking in a couple of big deals with that situation, so I couldn't really leave and be gone. I had a lot of sponsorship meetings, stuff like that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I got to get back to Medellin. I got to get back to that. I got to get back to it. There's something there. I don't know what it is, but I see a lot of open lanes. I see a lot of opportunities. I see a lot of business that can be conducted there, because Medellin is 15 years in the past.
True.
Give or take. It's about 15 years in the past when it comes to a lot of different industries and a lot of different aspects. So if I'm from 15 years in the future, what is it that I know that I can do or provide that isn't currently already happening in the city? And that idea is what kept me up late at night. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back for a month and figure that answer to that question that I have for myself. I stayed the whole month. I said, if you're not tired of it after a month, if you don't see any business opportunity here after a month, leave and just keep it as a vacation spot with the guys. You know what I mean? Keep it simple. And after that month, I called my mom. I say, yo, Mom, I know you want me to go, go to Panama, settle down in Panama, get a Panamanian girl, the whole nine. It ain't happening. Colombia has just obtained my rights. So,
okay.
That month made it a sure thing that I'm here, or this is where I'm supposed to be, at that time.
Let's talk about for a split second before we go any further with Colombia, because just from talking to you for guys have told me this about you. I'm gonna say this while I got you. A lot of guys have said that they've had a chance to meet you or talk to you, and they said whatever stereotype that you think about this guy is not what you'll find out. He's completely opposite of what you would assume about him in real life. He's a really cool, down to earth brother, and I just wanted to give you some appreciation in regards to that, because what I want to talk about now is, do you come across people that stereotype you? I mean, I understand that this segment and moment of time, people are stereotyping you, but is it commonplace in Colombia since you've been here, or even anywhere else, that people assume one thing about you, and then when they get to know you, you're completely opposite of what they think?
Oh yeah, that's literally every person that I've come into contact with, that if they met me through the internet or social media, their perception and their idea, because everything on social media, you know, I am who I am, but the social media is like a curated version of me. You know, there's Capo and then there's Steve, you know, so when you meet me in person, you're having a conversation with Steve right now. You know, you're not talking to Capo, chill Capo. You know, this is Steve talking to you guys, Andre, and the internet. So that's why a lot of people misinterpret what they see online about me, my energy, how, you know, confidence is sometimes misconfused for arrogance, you know, and I've been around the world. I've you know, been with people with money, and I've slept on the floor in certain situations. You know, I know what it's like to ride in $1 million car, and I know what it's like to sleep on a concrete floor with roaches. You know, I've had both situations happen to me multiple times in life, and so knowing that you can go from here to here, and that kind of just keeps you with a level balance, you know, because you never can get too high off the winds, and you can't get too low off the lows, you know.
True. That is so true. That's how it's kind of funny that you would say that, because that's how I try to live my life, with that same mantra of, you know, if things going great, okay, cool, I appreciate it. But if things are going bad, I only know that's a season in time, so I'm not going to really let it throw me off. And so I understand exactly where you're coming from in regards to that. Let's get back to talking about Colombia. So you came to Colombia. When was it that made you say, okay, Mom, I think I found my spot? When was that? 2022, 2023?
23. I made the jump March 2023. I made the jump. I stayed all of February. Right after my birthday. And I was like, man, there's no point in coming back. So I was having friends in Vegas that were coming to visit just bring me a suitcase. Like, yo, go to my house, grab some more stuff out my closet, grab this, grab that. Bring that with you when you down here, and I got a beer for you. So all my friends were like, all right, cool. 4 or 5 friends flying in. Everybody bring an extra bag. Appreciate you. I got you on the beers, whatever you need. Dinner on me tonight. And they brought a suitcase one by one. And, you know, so little by little, I just slowly migrated my things from Las Vegas. The important thing is I'm in my house right now that I had. I never sold my house. I still have my property. It's a beautiful property, 4 bedrooms, garage, pool, jacuzzi. I didn't get sent back to Africa. I didn't get sent back to any struggle. You know what I mean? I was successful here. A lot of the misconception is that people come to Colombia because they couldn't hack it in America. They wasn't good in America. They weren't doing what they do here that they didn't. I did it bigger and better in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? That's all. That narrative has always just been a narrative that irritated me, hearing like, oh, you had to come here to get girls. You had to come here to live a better life. You had to come. They don't know, man. You don't know.
I agree with you 100%.
They don't know.
100%. And I often say, and on this show, when they try to sit back and try to say, well, you were losers back home, so y'all couldn't get ladies, I say no. The problem with American women is we can get sex and sexuality, but then you ask for any other qualities, you can't get it. That's what caused men to start traveling. We could get sex, we could get sexuality, as her putting on skimpy outfits and competing with other chicks. But when it came to true indoor domestic qualities that we were looking for, it's not commonplace in our country. So we can get all the sex we wanted. And so I think the misconception that American women try to sell to foreign women, that we couldn't get them, we couldn't get them at all. And that's far from the truth. I'm running through them state to state. I'm all in San Francisco running through them, Atlanta. I'm everywhere. Be more, Tampa, Miami, all up in the D, all in Cleveland. I'm running through them, especially because I rode motorcycles back in the day. So I'm going to all these bike events across the country as well, Myrtle Beach. And so I'm just like you. I never liked that stereotype that women from the States threw out there to the rest of the world. Those guys are losers, and they don't have this and they don't have that. Well, in order for us to be able to travel the way that we do, we'd have to have certain things in order anyway. But we don't care because we're not dating those ladies anyway, and that's the main reason why they're upset. Let's go back. Go ahead, brother.
No, that's definitely part of it. Everybody wants what they can't have, and when they can't have it, they got to discourage and disrespect and throw dirt on it because nobody wanted them. Yeah,
and so for all you guys that are here, shout out to all you guys that are here. Shout out to my brother JC on the Cash App with the $50 love. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, and shout out to Will over on PayPal with the $5 love. Appreciate you as once again, Will, and shout out to all you guys over in the Cash App. I mean the Super Chats. Appreciate you guys. I'll be getting to the Super Chats this evening. We got our brother Chill Capo, captain of the basketball team. He was doing it like that in Italy. Yes, sir. We got him here giving his perspective. I am glad one thing that we've gotten a foundation of who he actually is as a traveler. We've gotten a chance to see that he has been in over 23% of this planet, meaning that he is a true traveler, like A-Slide, Check and Effect, and a lot of other individuals that travel around the world. Let me ask you this. Before we go into your unseen Medellin, because I didn't know that was you. I'm
That's
watching. Do you know I did not know that was you until you left? I had subscribed to Unseen Medellin a while back, and a lot of times my Medellin news come through Unseen Medellin. And so I'm showing my wife this or my wife that, and I'm wondering, like, why is this brother always popping up every once in a while? I said, how did he get in there? I said, he always on Unseen Medellin, because it'll be like 4 or 5 news headlines, and then you'll do one, and then it'll be 4 or 5 news headlines, and then you'll do one. I'm like, how's this brother able to? I did not know that was you. That was very, very informative, bro. Kid you not. I kid you not about that one.
I appreciate it.
What made you start? I knew I was going to ask another question, but since we're talking about Unseen Medellin, what made you start that? Kind of piggybacking off of some of the concepts of your business back in Las Vegas?
Yeah, 100%. Las Vegas Scoop is and was a very successful media page that I started during COVID. And during that time, nobody, was going outside. Everybody was just stuck on their phones or their devices. And that was our only way to connect with each other throughout the world. So I had kind of realized that there wasn't really a page that was dedicated to like what's going on for real, like not the Fox, CNN, ESPN edition. I need the real, what's really happening outside in Las Vegas, type of content. And I said that nobody has this. In Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta for 7 years before I moved to Las Vegas. So Atlanta has ATL Scoop. So ATL Scoop is one of the biggest brand pages in the South, like respectfully. So I said, well, screw it. I'm going to make Las Vegas Scoop. And then, that blew up, did its thing. The success of that is it's there. If you on Instagram and you come to Las Vegas, go follow Las Vegas Scoop. If you want to know what's going on in Vegas on the daily, go to Las Vegas Scoop. So when I moved to Medellin, I was like, looking around, I don't see nobody doing the Medellin thing out here. What's going on? Nobody got it. Why nobody? Because remember what I said. I'm looking for lanes. I'm looking for openings. I'm looking for what's not being done. Why doesn't this exist? Why doesn't this exist? So the Colombians, obviously, they had their own versions, Prince Paisa and the different pages, and, this, that, couple, Medellin specific or Antioquia based like news outlets, whatever. But there wasn't a gringo Medellin news, what we care about. What do we need to know? Like everything else, voting and politics, and that doesn't apply to us. So we don't really need to know that. We need to know what's going on with these scopamine and these drug situations and allegations, and where's the nightlife, and where are the good places to eat, and do I need security? What are the shopping malls like? Are they going to turn me away because I got condoms in my bag? What's the weather? Is there a flood? What's going on? Like, is this going to affect my vacation? Yes or no? Is what's happening right now going to deter me from coming to this city next week? So I say, you know what? I'm going to create the platform, Unseen Medellin. I'm going to make it the green colors, the national, I'm trying to, I'm doing all the chat GPT. What should I do with this? And the chat GPT is like, yeah, do this. And boom.
I do that. Yeah.
So,
wow. I didn't know that. Congratulations on that, man. Because I kid you not, man. When it came to Medellin, you kept me very, very informed. And I could see some guys in the chat that didn't know that was you either. Because like I said, you will pop up every once in a while, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. That's me 100%. Nobody else has access to the page. Nobody else controls the content. Everything you read, see, hear, repost, that's 100% Chill Capo.
Okay, let me ask you a question that somebody, shout out to my man Rapstar LLC. He's going to piggyback off. It's not a question, but I'm going to put it in a question form. He said that you went too hard. And I'm going to tell you what I mean while I'm putting it in the question form in regards to that. There's another YouTuber that was born and raised here. He did a short commentary on what happened to you, not in a negative sense at all. But he said, even as a Colombian, there's certain things I can say and certain things I can't say because I know how my country is. And like T-Mac said, one of the brothers that lives in Medellin said this to me, the highest nail get hammered down.
For sure.
Do you think that kind of what could have happened to you? Because like I said, the local Colombian guy said, there's a lot of things that I know about my country. He said, but I can't say it. He said, because I know, basically off of the, like T-Mac said, the highest nail gets hammered down. Do you think that it was one of those situations?
For sure. It definitely played a part. I had a lot of visibility, not on no arrogant stuff, but I was one of the consistent voices in Medellin, delivering information, content, Unseen Medellin. In the last 2.5 years, I don't think there's a day that I didn't post. Probably the first day I didn't post is when I got locked up.
Right.
That was probably the first time the page just went quiet, 100%, no nothing, no activity. And it definitely played a factor into it, especially because I'm showing the reality, and it's like, at the end of the day, I don't see the damage of telling people the truth about what's happening in their market. It's not necessarily a deterrent. It was more, I'm not saying, hey, you shouldn't come to Medellin because this is happening. I'm saying, no, come to Medellin, but also understand that this thing, and this thing are going to give you problems. And it's going to make your trip a horrible experience. And I don't want you to have a horrible experience. I want you to have a good experience. I want you to come back. I want you to come book me for hosting you, take care of you. I want you to spend money in the local economy. I want you to come be a good representation of, wherever you're from, not necessarily Black people or Americans, because I've had Asian clients, European clients, Australian clients, African clients. I've had people from all over the world, celebrity to college student.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I felt like I was one of the people primarily responsible for making people feel comfortable about visiting Medellin and know that they're not going to get died, or they're not going to get kidnapped or die or shot or robbed, or it's not what you see on Netflix. That's not the reality. Medellin is one of the safest places on paper compared to what most major cities in America, the murder rate and the senseless crime. If you get shot in Colombia, you probably deserved it.
Repeat yourself, brother. Say that one again for the back of the church, please.
If you get shot in Colombia, it's because you deserved it. Because bullets are
Yes.
hard to get. So if someone put
Thank
one
you,
in your ass,
Pastor.
it was supposed to be there.
Thank you. A lot of guys don't know that. A lot of guys don't know that. I've said that for years. Colombians do not waste bullets. They do not waste artillery. You only get a certain guys. You only, even if you do go through the training, which the military puts you through, and you get your license, you only are allowed to have a certain amount of artillery per year. And they check up on that. You can't have any more. That they tell you how many shells you have to have. Those are the only amount of shells that you can get. So when we say Colombians do not waste artillery because they only get a certain amount a year, he is 100% correct. And also, if you got with some artillery, usually there's a story behind it. I've said that for years. Usually there's a story like she cheated or she got caught doing this. That's why Colombians, when something happens to a Colombiana, they be like, well, what'd she do? Why? Because Colombians do not waste artillery. That is 100% correct.
No, you definitely earned that bullet. There's nowhere to go buy more. You know, it's not like America where you could just go do your thing, and it doesn't work like that at all. But you know,
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And that's what makes it, and like you said, that makes it a little safer compared to, you know, where I'm from, Detroit. You know, they gonna take what you got, and they still gonna be, you know, put one of them hot balls in you. So you ain't try to deal with that mess anymore.
I've yet to hear of a drive-by shooting in Colombia ever.
Or kids at some kids' school. You ain't heard that. At a picnic, at a church, at an exodo, none of that. And so when we sit back and we stereotype a country and not realizing how much safer that country is compared to our home country of the United States or Canada or, you know, wherever it may be, you start to realize, I do have a little bit more freedom. I may have petty crimes like in Europe, petty crimes, but it's not as bad as just straightforward deletions as we got to deal with back in the States.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Okay. Let's continue on. So we're in Cartagena. Speaking of, what other cities had you gone to?
In Colombia?
Yeah, just to visit.
Cartagena, obviously. Barranquilla, Bogota. Where else have I been? Those are the main ones for right now. Cali was definitely on the list.
Okay.
It was supposed to happen. I'll just say it like that. It was supposed to happen very soon. I had already started looking into it. I reached out to a good friend of mine that does hosting out there too. He's like, yo, I got you on. And it was definitely this summer was going to happen.
Yeah, man. You'd have loved Cali. You would have loved Cali.
I hear a lot of good things about it. And, you know, most importantly, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. People are like, oh, you shouldn't go to Cali. You know, you know, people always try to project their fears on you and make you not want to go somewhere. And I'm like, bro, the same people told me not to move to Medellin. I could slap them right now. Like, what do you mean? Like, so I don't listen or take advice from anybody who walks in fear. I'm a God-fearing man. Whatever's going to happen to me is going to happen to me. Amen. God has gotten me this far in life, and he going to take me to Cali and let me have some fun too, God willing. But it didn't happen.
Amen. But the funny part is, it's like, because, you know, Colombia is broken into 5 regions. It's almost like each region is jealous of the other region. You know, it's almost like a healthy jealousy. But, you know, the people in Cartagena, like, why you going to Medellin? The people in Medellin are looking at you like, why do you go? Like I tell guys all the time, when they come to Cali, expect an argument from your girlfriend, because women in other regions do not want their men. I don't know what it is. They do not want their men to come to Cali without them. I've had brothers come down and about to get into fights and arguments with their girls. I've had one brother say, he said, my girl told me when I'm coming from Bogota, he was coming to the Afro-Colombian Festival last year. And he said, my girl told me, well, I'm never going to see you again, am I? He was like, what? he said, "What do you mean? I'm never gonna see you. You're never gonna see me again." And she looked at him sincerely and said, "You're going to Cali. I'm never going to hear from you again." And I said, "Okay." When we at the festival last year, I said, "Okay, champ, how many times did you text her?" That's what she was talking about. I said, "You got here to Cali with this 40% Afro-Colombian community." I said, "You'd have forgot all about the girl in Bogota." And a lot of Colombian women know that. The other thing about Cali that you would have loved is Cali is what I call the last purely Colombian major city, because Bogota is politics and investments, and so that's just what it is. It's just gigantic city.
Right.
Medellin is the tourist capital, and Cartagena, so they're more touristy. Cali, the third largest city, is still old school Colombia with a modern twist to it. We don't have a red light district. So you would have to go to certain locations, to enjoy yourself. But we've got more restaurants, more bars, and more clubs than Medellin. But you wouldn't know it because it's one of those cities where, like you said, once you got somebody to show you everywhere to go, you will have a great time in Cali. But if you ain't got nobody to show you, Cali is just so quiet and laid back. But it's always like right now, downtown Cali, at this time period right now, it's about 4,000 people because Cali has a block party every Friday, every Saturday for years. And I mean, it's 4,000 people downtown, even as we speak. And so a lot of guys don't know how much is going on. And I think I kind of like that about Cali. That was the part that drew me, because I was like you, initially Medellin. I'm singing the song, "My Country, Medellin, Sweet Land." I'm singing it. I'm singing the gospel. I'm spreading the word like Paul in the Bible, right? But when it got too touristy, and I'm being from Tampa and Orlando area, I'm like, man, I just went through this in Florida.
Got out of that, right?
Right. I was like, I can't do too many tourists again in life. So I started looking around, and I knew it wasn't Cartagena because it's just too hot for me. And I started doing my homework, and then realized that, you know what, Cali was my speed. I love the ladies, the 40% Afro-Colombian community, the recipes here from around all of South America, the strong soul, Afro-Colombian soul food recipes that you get in Cali that you don't get in other areas, kind of really solidified that the country was here. And plus, it's right under Panama, so it's only like a half an hour, 40-minute flight from Panama. That was the other blessing. So I'm shooting from Miami or Tampa to Panama, from Panama straight down to Cali. So that's another thing that made it so easy. Our airports weren't as full as far as 2 hour or 3 hour wait. And so I didn't have to go through that. And it just made everything just a lot more easier, a lot more smoother. And it wasn't what I call tourist tarnished. Didn't have too many tourists, and still compared, even though it's the sports capital of the country, it's still not tourist tarnished compared to the amount that goes to Bogota, to Medellin, and to Cartagena.
Right.
And so that's what made it. Plus, as you well know, what's so cool about Colombia is every major city is about an hour flight away from each other anyway.
Right.
So if
it's a short little hop.
Right. That probably was the best part that really kind of solidified, okay, I can live in another city and still visit all the other ones whenever I wanted to. Kind of like my brother Kobe and T-Mac and all these other brothers in the comment section often do. They enjoy all the other cities. I'm going to get to the super chats in a moment, brothers. But before we do, okay, we're in Medellin right now. You're doing your thing, and a lot of guys. Let's go to this particular topic. A lot of guys assume that you were in Medellin just promoting all these parties, and just you are the man for every other party that's happening in Medellin. Let me hear what you have to say in regards to that statement.
When I first started going to Medellin just as a tourist, obviously we're outside every night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, doesn't matter. We outside. You don't even have to ask if we going out. Just get your shoes on and meet me at the door. We out. So obviously during that first year of going back and forth as a tourist, always was out everywhere, you know, not just the park, Laureles, Sabaneta, moving around different little spots, some little spots we shouldn't have been in Manrique. You know, probably not the best idea, but hey, I was out there too because I was scouting Medellin to see if this is actually a place that I can live. Anybody can have a good weekend, a good week, a good couple days in any city. But once the nostalgia wears off and you're tired of seeing the park and you're tired of seeing the same girls, it's not that exciting anymore. You're just living and you know, yeah, I'm out a lot because that is what my business model is, like being out and going out with people that are visiting the town for the first time. I haven't gone out in Medellin for my own personal, I just want to go out in a year and a half. Up until that situation, it's been a year and a half that I, Chill Capo, bought a bottle in the club to partake in my own personal, this is just what I feel like doing with my guys. And I've said this multiple times. Anybody who's been a client of mine or gone out with me, they'll tell you like, bro, he doesn't even turn up. He doesn't even party with us. He's not drinking. He's just sitting in the corner, kind of watching, observing, you know, chopping it up with other people, busy, you know, saying hi to everybody, whatever. But a lot of my guys, they're like, yo, man, why don't you turn up with us? And I said, bro, I've been doing this since 2022. The girl you talking to right now, I remember when her big sister was in here.
Right.
And her big sister got saved and taken, you know what I mean? She graduated. Little sis is still here. But I remember when her big sister was here. And in some cases, I remember when her mama was in here.
Dang.
So that doesn't really, you know, it's cool. It's there. Yeah. But I've been dating the same woman for the last 3 years. I've had the same woman for the last 3 years.
A lot of guys don't know that you solidified.
Yeah, like I got my shorty, she comes, stay with me, cook, clean, whatever. It's all love, doesn't give me no stress, no headaches, not as much, you know, all women give stress and headaches, but you know, she was to the minimum, you know what I mean? We had a good thing, you know, and so I was cool. I was content with my woman. Like I don't have to be out in the streets, you know, because ultimately them girls in the streets don't give a shit about you, fam. Like you just another lick. You just a lick. No matter what she tells you, she does not give two shits about you. When I got deported, only 2 women cried. My best friend and my woman. That was it.
Yeah. I agree with you. I kid you not. I often talk about the value of no matter what country you go to, have at least 1 or 2 quality people or quality women in your phone in the just in case moments. Because at the end of the day, you can have 50 women in your phone. And if you ain't got 1 that's quality or 2 that's quality, just in case of emergencies, you stuck because you're right. Most of them do not care about you. Before we continue on, I want to give a shout out to my brother T-Mac with the $10 love over on the Cash App. Appreciate you, brother. I really do. Shout out to you, Medellin men out there, as well as my brother Rap Star, showing love with the $10 love. Appreciate you, brother, for being here as well. Appreciate you. He said tuition for the interview with our brother Chill Capo. Appreciate you, brother. Let's go to the super chats real quick, and then we're gonna come back to your interview. And my man Johnny says this. Shout out to Johnny being in the building. He said, props are due. I appreciate that, man. And props to my brother Chill, man. He is giving us insight about him that's not being told. The side of his story is not being told. And just from talking to him, his personality, hearing things about him being in solidified relationships, he's just like me. If you guys aren't in town, I ain't going out. I might go out to a cigar bar and have a beer or two. Some of you guys might show up in the bar and you'll see me and say, hey, Dre. But for the most part, I'll be there for maybe about an hour and a half, maybe 2. Might buy me a piece of fish to eat, pescado, and I'm gone. When you guys come to town, like some of you guys are coming to town in the next few days, I hang out when you guys come to town. But if you guys aren't in town, and I got Colombian friends, but as far as like just hanging out, just Dre on Dre time, I ain't like that. You know, like I'm like my man Chill Cat. A lot of guys know that I'm a Christian, and we have a church home here, and we go to church every Sunday. My wife goes to Bible study on Wednesday, so we like real old school, not these new school, but the old school Christians. And so I don't hit the streets, like when we first come to a country, you hit in the streets. But now I'm kind of like, this is my life. I've been here over almost 10 years, so. I'm the same way, brother. I just want to let you know that you are not alone as far as like how you maneuver and how you move in real life, other than what people see on videos, and they think that you popping up bottles and just a party guy every single weekend, but they don't know that those are moments in time.
Right. I literally have, what do I have? I have 125 total posts on my social media, on my Instagram, 125. I've lived in Medellin for on and off, let's just call it 4 years. It's 52 weekends in a year. There would be a lot more content if that was the reality of my life every day, let's just keep it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's keep it modest. You would see a lot more going on my social media if that was my consistent every day, because when I do go out or when I do have events that are something of business related, or something, my birthday, something big, a big client, a celebrity client that's in town, all right, cool, let's bring the camera out, let's do something, let's make this movie tonight, and just remind people it's been about a month since I posted anything party content. And then I shifted from the party content to the education and, what people need to know and insight, because I'm watching all of these things happen in real time and nobody else is talking about it. Nobody's speaking from our POV of a Black American man in Medellin and what I'm seeing and what do I think, like I'm nobody at the end of the day. I'm just a dude with a cell phone, speaking my opinion, but a lot of people started listening to that way more than they cared about the party content, because that's more relatable and necessary information. You don't need to see me in the club popping 42 with hoes and all that stuff. Like, yeah, all right, cool. Like, all right, I see what it's like out there on the party vibe, but am I gonna get shot, kidnapped, robbed, stabbed? What's going on, Capo? Tell me something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's when I got turned on to your content, because as you say, it was more relatable to the everyday man that was traveling or relocating or here and could keep up with what's going. If your content was just all party, it probably wouldn't have caught my attention. I probably would have noticed, okay, it's a brother down there. Okay, have fun, brothers. Be safe. And that would have been my mindset and just moved on to the next content creator.
You've been scrolling,
right? But because you were putting stuff out there, it was as if I was watching clips, news clips. That's why I say I didn't even know that was you with Unseen Medellin, because I'm watching it every day. I'm scrolling through it like it's news footage, because that was my Medellin news. Right. Other than the newspapers, and the periodicals and the also the newsletters that they put out. Other than reading those, I was mainly going to your content. Like I said, I didn't know that was you, but excellent work, man. Really, really good work.
I appreciate it, brother. I try to get my journalism on it, you know what I mean, with it, stay impartial, but accurate. Like that's all. I was just trying to be as accurate as possible, and that's what bothered me with my situation, because it's like I do this too. I come from this too. I know how to do this the right way. I know how to do this the sloppy way. I know how to do it the partial way. I know how to be impartial. And right now, in this time and space, I'm watching an entire country destroy me without taking the time to say, hey, let's just talk to them real quick. Let's ask them some questions. If they're worried about the language barrier, whatever, I mean, I can communicate decent enough in Spanish, but there's ways around that. There's ways around that. You can get my side of the story in print if you don't want to do it over video. There's a lot of ways that we could have did it. And I'm sure every major news publication that was posting me has at least one person that speaks English. So
that's a good
I
point.
just felt like from a journalism aspect, Colombia doesn't really care. They don't give a shit about the other side of the story. They never ask what the other person, why did this happen? Why did you do that? Why did you say this? But there's never the, reach out to the other side and try to get some clarification on certain things. It's just, okay, this foreigner, he did this. Whatever they say he did it. I don't care if he did or didn't. My news says that he did it. My mayor says that he did it. So he did it.
Do we not do that in the States?
100%.
That's the unfair part of life. I often say, I said this yesterday, life ain't fair. They try to make it at least somewhat fair for women, children, old people, pets. Men, nobody comes to our aid globally when it comes to making life somewhat fair. Life just is not, you born as a male, you might as well be prepared for much of life not to be fair. And it's so sad. Go ahead, brother.
Especially if you got some color.
Oh, yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Black and brown, just know your life is hard, brother.
Yeah, so true. Let me go to the rest of these super chats, and then we're going to talk about your experience. I got the videos that you sent me with the photos and everything. So we're going to talk about that, your experience of, we're going to talk about that in a second. But let me get to these super chats real quick. Shout out to official Kobe in the building. Appreciate you being here, brother. Kobe said, salute, fellas. He said, and to Chill Capo, he said, where to next? We're going to get to that later on today. That's a good question that you had. That's why I didn't go to your super chat immediately, Kobe, because I knew that we were going to be hitting on that topic later on today. My brother Will says this. Shout to Will. Will says this. He say it's the same for when people come messed up or drugged in Colombia, and they did something stupid to earn the consequences. Let me read that again. He says it's the same for when people come missing and drugged in Colombia, and they did something stupid to earn the consequences. And that's for somebody that does something stupid. They pay the stupid tax.
Mm-hmm.
But when you feel like you haven't done anything stupid and you still have to pay the stupid tax, that's the unfair part of being a man and a man of color. That's the unfair part. And shout out to my brother, Black Nubian in the building, the Canadian brothers.
I told this guy where I was from. He said, oh, Canada.
And let's get to my brother Fritz in the building. Mr. George says this with the $20 love. He said, great stream so far. He said, I've got to come to Cali or come Cali through. He said, my girl is in Medellin. He said, that's good. Yes. I've heard brothers talk about they have gotten in full-blown arguments. Let's put it like this. I know very few dudes that got a girl in another city and they could come to Cali by themselves. Very few dudes. So you might want to tell her you're going to Bedding Hill. You might want to tell her you're going to Santa Marta. But as soon as you say Cali, they see it as competition. and think you going to see all them sisters down there, and you gonna see all them the beauty of the booties, and you gonna see what I call the Cali curves, and then you gonna leave me. So yeah, he said, yeah, that's gonna be an interesting convo once I decide to visit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get back to our brother, our guest that's here. And once again, I appreciate you being here, brother. I really do.
It's all love, man. I'm happy to be here.
And I appreciate you being there in Vegas with my Raiders, making sure they're well taken care of. Yes, sir. We got the first round draft pick, so we know we're going to get that quarterback from Indiana. I'm excited about that.
100%, man. 100%. We'll
Yes,
see
sir.
what happens. We'll see what happens.
All right. Okay. So now let's talk about the disturbance that took place in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Were you at, let's get past the stereotypes of what people assume. Were you at a club? Were you at home when all this occurred? What was going on? Were you just watching Netflix? What happened? And somebody knocked on the door? What happened?
I could do one better. I just sent you the video of when they grabbed me in the club. It's on your way to your WhatsApp. I don't know if you can pull up stuff real time. It's on the way to you in a moment. I just got that video yesterday. It's coming. It's loading right now.
Okay.
I just got this about a minute and 30-second long video, but I'll talk in the meantime until that loads to you. But basically, I was at a nightclub. I was at Gusto's nightclub in Parque Lleras. I was asked to do some image consulting, basically, with that venue because they felt like Black people and minorities did not want to come to their club because of the style of music that they were playing. So they say, yo, one of my guys, Andy, that works over there from Miami, but he lives in Medellin. He said, yo, Capo, I want to set up a meeting with you and the boss man. We need help over here. Can you help us? So I came, had the meeting, all the bosses. Yo, we heard your reputation. You bring a lot of people. You bring a lot of business. We need help over here. You know, our image is basically white and Indian men are the only people that, you know, we cater to because of the style of music that they play.
Right.
And clubs in the park weren't doing as well. And that used to be their thing. They used to dominate the hip hop space. So Gusto saw the opportunity. And if we're going to do hip hop, we need a brother to come in here and let the word be known that we're doing hip hop and everything is, you know, different now over here. We like you guys. Don't think that we don't like you guys. Look, we got one of your people to help, you know, usher you in. So that's how that situation came into play. I got asked to do that event maybe 10 days before. So boom, I create the title of the event. Everything's good, promotion. I get 2 DJs booked, one for April 9th, the other for April 16th. I get the DJs booked and we're off and running.
Right.
The day before, somebody had hit me up and said, be careful. It was just a random blank page on Instagram and say, yo, Capo, you my brother. I just want to tell you, just be careful, you know, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, this no pictures, no posts, no followers, just 000 all the way across, whatever. The next night, we have the event. I got my DJ from Atlanta with me. Shout out to DJ Black Amigo, incredibly talented DJ. Brought him out to do my first event. He's killing it. The night is great. The club is packed. Brothers everywhere, you know, people everywhere. Sections sold out. Massive success. Club owner went from, I don't know if I could give you a bottle to bringing 2 bottles for free to the DJ booth. We're like, yo, give him 2 bottles. This is great.
Right.
We loving it. Everything's going good. I'm just sitting. Again, I'm not drinking. I'm with my business partner, my best friend. She's in the booth with me. My girl's on the way. Normal night. I turn around. I see the owner going to the back door. Looks like there's a disturbance. I'm like, maybe somebody's fighting or somebody's getting kicked out, whatever. Then I see cops. Okay, whatever. The party's jumping. Maybe somebody's hating around the corner because that business is slow. They sent the boys at us. No problem. Then I'm looking and I see immigration police. I'm like, immigration police and the police, unusual combo, especially for Gustos. Gustos is ran by them guys. If you know what I mean when I say them guys. Gustos is controlled by them guys, the same guys from La Isla. So they don't have problems with police. If every other club in the world gets shut down, Gustos is going to stay open.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm like, nothing's about to happen. It is what it is. They asked the DJ, hey, come here. Let me see your ID. Stop playing music. Come here. I'm like, yo, don't tell them nothing. Just say that you DJing for fun. Show them your ID. You're going to be okay. You just got here yesterday. Like, cool. They check him. The cop taps me. The immigration cop, he taps me. Let me see your ID. Show him my cedula. Show him my my passport. I got my passport card, my American passport card. I always carry both. So he's like, oh, your cedula is expired. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I have a new visa on the way. I submitted the visa. The cedula expired February 28th. February 28th, it expired. On February, I'd say March, about like mid-March, I submitted my new application. They give you a 30-day window from after the time that your visa expires to get your affairs in order or leave the country.
True.
They give you a 30-day. They give you like a 30-day because you've been there for so long. It's like, we're not just going to make you get the fuck out right now. You know what I mean? We're going to give you some time if you need time, or if you're renewing a visa, we understand the process takes a couple of weeks. So they give you that time. So technically, that was April 9th. I'm probably, if you give me that 30 days, I'm probably an extra 10 to 15 days past that initial 30 days that I had that little buffer period. And that's only because at the time I was moving around. I had other things going on. Now, no excuses. I take 100% accountability. My black ass should have turned in that paperwork the first day that my visa expired, like I had been doing for the previous 3 years.
Right.
Got comfortable. I'll do it in another week. That week turned to 2 weeks, but I still got it done. Bought the insurance. I paid the $1,000 for my health insurance that's required to get the Nomad visa.
That's right.
I went through all the steps that you're supposed to do your visa because I'm a veteran at this point of doing it. I know I got my lawyer. I know everything that I need to do. So I'm thinking this can't be that serious. So we go downstairs and I can look in my best friend. She's very well connected in the city, very well connected in the legal space, a businesswoman, Colombian, born in Medellin. She's on it. She's like, hey, if it's just a visa issue, y'all can't just take him because of he overstayed by a couple of weeks. Like that's not what you do. And they told her to shut up, go back in the club. She said, excuse me, I'm not. That's my friend. I know the rights. I know the laws. I know that you guys can't be doing this. So respectfully, I'm going to walk outside with you guys because you're saying all this shit and you're not even telling them what he did wrong and nobody speaks English. So I'm here. So they said, all right, whatever. Come on. We get downstairs. There's some like big conversation going on between, there's probably like 15 cops, 15 immigration police. And it's just me in the middle of this huge circle. So I'm like, okay, so what's the end result? Like, what are we doing? Like, you need me to pay a fine? I got to go to jail. What's going on? They're like, you got to pay a fine and you're going to jail. All right, cool. Let's do it. Yep, that's it right there.
Wow.
The night's going as it should. I'm sitting behind the two DJs. Those are the two resident DJs.
I see you in the corner with the hat on. No, that's somebody else. Well, I see you between the two DJs.
In between the DJs, that's me.
Right, that's you. I see you. You was walking down the stairs.
That's when the cops are coming in. You see the DJs looking. They're like, yo, what's going on? My security guard is the guy with the hat and the tattoo.
Uh-huh. So everybody's looking around at each other like,
everybody's looking like,
okay,
this isn't normal. This isn't normal protocol. The DJ's looking. The club owner's right there to the far right. That's the club owner. He's trying to talk on my behalf. What's going on? What are y'all doing? What's going on? And they lead me outside. So the DJs are like, what the hell? What the hell? What was that? What was it? Everyone's concerned because they're like, yo, he didn't do nothing wrong. He doesn't, he's been working with us. This Capo, like, what did he do? And that was it.
Wow.
Just like that, quick.
Wow.
So my guard is following me. He's like, what's going on? Where are you taking him? They're telling him it's not his business. He's like, it is my business. That's my boss. I work for him. His security safety is my job. I need to know where you're going so I can notify his lawyer, his team. So they're like, all right, we're going to Baylin, Migration, Colombia, Baylin, other side of town. All right, cool. Get in the truck. We're in the truck. I'm calm. I'm not in handcuffs. At no point in time did they put me in handcuffs. They never read me no rights. They never told me what I couldn't do, say, can't say. They never told me what I did wrong. They just took me. Cool. Get to the jail. They bring an interpreter. She says, you're in Colombia illegally. I said, no, ma'am, I'm not. I've been here for years. I have a cedula. I have a visa in progress. The visa has already been in the process for 3 weeks now. At this point in time, it's been about 2-3 weeks. It's in progress. We don't see anything. Call my lawyer. You call him. Okay, call him. It's 2 a.m. He's not about to answer his phone at 2 a.m.
Absolutely.
So they're like, we don't believe you have a lawyer. We don't believe you even have a visa in progress. We believe that you've overstayed and you're going to pay a fine in the morning and then you'll be released, or we'll decide what happens to you then. Okay. So where do I sleep? There's a couch over here. What, like, y'all gonna just turn off the lights, lock me in this office? What's going on? I don't know how this goes. They're like, no, we're going outside, afuera. All right, go outside. Mind you, I'm fresh from the club. I got my jewelry on. All my jewelry's real. You know what I mean? I got but I go with my security. I'm not just wearing jewelry and moving ignorant. I got my security with me. It's not ridiculous amount of jewelry, but I know where I can and can't wear it. I did not plan on going to jail wearing $15,000 worth of diamonds. That was never in the plans. So I said, hey, will you guys hold my jewelry and lock it up with my phone that you took away and everything else? They said, no, wear it in there. All right, fuck it. I'm a big guy. I can handle myself, but I'm one man. I don't know if there's 20 people in there, 30 people, 5, 10. I don't know if they got weapons in there. It's 1, 2 in the morning on a Thursday night. They put me in the jail cell. I meet our friend Sam McVeigh. He's laying down. There's another Dominican guy. There's another Dominican guy. I see the Dominican guy. He's like, Capo. What the fuck is this? I don't know this guy. There's a random guy like, Capo. He's like, I just saw your video. I just saw your video for Gusto's tonight. I thought you was at the club. What are you doing here? Recognized me. I don't know. He recognized me. He'd been out there for a while. So that was kind of funny. That kind of made me feel a little bit better. Like, all right, they know me. Cool. It's cool. They know me up in here. Cool. And there was a Venezuelan woman in the cell with us. She was in another isolated room, but she was in there with us. And I just sat down on the floor and I was just like collecting my thoughts, like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, I just went from the club. I went from my penthouse to the club to this jail cell with, you know, and I sent you the videos of what it looks like in there. If you want to show people.
Yeah, let's get started with that.
Yeah,
with
you
that
can give
segment.
people the visual of what that looked like. It definitely wasn't the Marriott.
No, it was not. No, it was not. So let's bring this beat back. Here we go. Now this is our brother inside of the holding cell or the jail per se. And I'm going to get to the super chats in a second. Shout out to my brother Obi Land in the building. Shout out to you being here. And shout out once again, Jay. Shout out to my brother Jay Kaysen once again. Hey Jay, I don't know if you heard me give you a shout out for the $50 love over on the Cash App. Appreciate you, brother, for the donation on the Cash App and the PayPal. I'm gonna come to the super chats in a second, but we want to watch this video real quick that our brother Capo sent me earlier today.
Yeah, man. Really in the jump, man, with Capo. It's the jail edition, the tour edition, you know what I mean? I got my dog with me.
I'm gonna tell you something before we watch the rest of the video. Capo, man, when I did my homework on that dude, I kid you not, I forgot all about you. I'm gonna tell you that now. What you did seem, or what they accused you of, or whatever happened with you, seemed so minute. As I was doing my homework on that white tee dude, I'm like, I don't even know how he got in the country.
Right.
I don't know how he got. Right. That's why I did that whole episode on him to say, wait a minute, because I'm looking at your video, the video that you showed when you guys were walking out, right? Or that they showed when you were walking out. And I'm seeing this dude with the MAGA hat on. I'm like, who the hell is that with the MAGA hat on? So I said, let me go ahead and do my homework and go down the rabbit hole with some receipts. And bruh, when I saw all the evil that he had been doing in the States, and he ran down here to Colombia and was doing even more evil, I was like, oh man, I got to do a show on this one. And I started off the show by letting guys know. I said, y'all gonna forget about whatever they're accusing Capo of by the time we get done talking about this white tee dude. And kid you not, about halfway through the show, we forgot that you was even locked up with this dude, because it was the craziness of what he did in the States and got warrants out. I'm looking like, what are we doing here? And so let's go back to the video. But I just want to let you know, man, we did our homework on that dude, so it wasn't just like it was a one-sided affair, or at least over on sure. Let's continue on.
Is it playing?
I mean, we political victims in here, man. We victims trying to extort us, but we ain't going for it. We gonna get out of here today, I promise you. We're getting out of here today.
So that's where it looks like. That's the white dude right there. Now, from looking at it from the inside outward, that's just in a regular neighborhood. It wasn't like in a.
It's attached to the immigration office. They have a jail cell that's literally connected to immigration.
I did not know that.
You wouldn't know that because you ain't getting deported. So you're never supposed to see that side of the
we getting out of here.
Office.
Right.
Hey, baby, lawyers on the way. 2-for-1 special.
Kids that we able to understand. We're all fucking hot and either have money or in Miami anyway.
No furniture. I slept on my shoes, and I borrowed a blanket from Sam because he had like 3 blankets, so he let me get a blanket. I put the blanket underneath me, and I slept on top of the blanket on top of the concrete.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck it.
Bathroom.
Yeah. Just in case you guys are wondering. Yeah.
Power. At least they let a nigga have his phone. That's better than the jail in Japan. Japan, we couldn't have nothing. We couldn't kill no time. At least I got the gram. At least I got social media.
Tell me, I'm hearing what I think I'm hearing. You got locked up in Japan.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man,
it was a situation. It was a situation. I was with a rapper friend.
Okay.
Friend, and it was, you know, it was just bad place to be at the wrong time. But it was cool. It wasn't like that serious, but
Okay.
it was definitely like a little 30-minute stay.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's go back to the video.
I can call people. That's it. You don't know how long 24 hours is until you don't have nothing but your hands. Like you're twiddling your thumbs for 24 hours, and then this shit is like.
Hey, I know I did 10 years in the Fed, so I know what you're talking about as far as that initial being locked up.
I was just surprised. They took my phone at night, but they gave it back to me during the day because I said, yo, everybody else has their phones, and I'm listening to one person on Netflix, the other person watching sports. Sam is, you know, calling people, harassing them, threatening people. I'm like, yo, everybody got a phone except me. And I'm the person that really needs my phone right now because
right.
Like, I need to figure this out. Like, to this point, I still don't know what's wrong.
Let me ask you this. And not to interrupt what you were saying. Whatever happened to your DJ? Because I know he's wondering, like, what happened? Where did he go? He's trying to do, do his thing and entertain the crowd.
Yeah.
But he's concerned about what's happening behind him. Yeah. And he's like, this is my first time here. I'm just getting here yesterday. I don't know what's going on. So how did his scenario turn out?
He was staying at my house. So talking to him, once everything got resolved, he went back to my house. He stopped DJing at that point because he had already been DJing for about an hour and a half into his 3-hour set. Right. And he said he packed up and left with my people and went back to the house, got his stuff, and went to the airport. Like, he was shook. He was like, I don't know if they're going to come raid the house, and if they're looking for something, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to hit it because he had a flight in the morning anyway. His flight was 6 a.m. in the morning anyway, back to Atlanta. So he went back to the house, got his stuff, and hit it.
Okay. So let's go back to this segment here. Because that jail did not look like a fun place at all. It was not Orlando Disney authorized.
Yeah, it wasn't cozy at all.
Okay, so I just kind of like took the sound out of this area so you could just kind of like talk and we can kind of hear. Yeah, so they're gonna sing them.
Yeah, so Sam was in there, and I quickly learned that he was a very confrontational guy. Like, at one point, he had complained about his bank card being disconnected, and he called Chase because he was like, "Oh, I need help setting up another bank," and I'm like, "Yo, just call the bank. You got your phone right there." Called him and asked him what happened to your account. So he calls, and he's getting frustrated with the girl, and he's like, "Where are you? Are you in the fucking Philippines? Are you in Vietnam? Where are you? Like, you know what? Since you're not doing your job, I know the president of Chase. I'm playing golf with him next week. I'm going to ask him, blah, 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 blah." And I'm just listening to him like, this dude's full of shit, man. But whatever, I don't care. Like, that's him. And then he goes to another phone call, and it's some guy from, I don't know, back home or wherever, was writing articles about him, and he had his Google alerts on. So when you set up your Google alerts for yourself, that pretty much means you fucked up majorly, or you did something and you're expecting some major press or backlash for it to turn on a Google notification for yourself. So he got the notification and was like, "Oh, this guy just posted me. He's talking shit. I got to call him." So he calls him and he threatens this guy pretty much the majority of his phone calls were just threatening phone calls or, harassing people. And I was like, man, there's something wrong with this dude. There's something going on. I don't know what he did. He told me that he was in Colombia to scout talent for baseball. He was looking for young talent for baseball because he was helping people get into the minor leagues or whatever. And he had a guy that just got called up and all this stuff. And again, it sounds cool, but I'm not one of those people that just believes everything I hear.
Right.
Especially if I've been sitting here listening to you, have various random, bipolar conversations.
Right.
So I'm not really going for it, but whatever. If that's your story, cool. Whatever. It doesn't sound like you did anything too crazy, but just the fact that he had mentioned something about kids. I'm here for kids. I'm here to work with the kids. I'm like, I never flown to any foreign country for no kids.
Right. Now, one thing that I can say that gave it, as I did my homework, a slight confirmation for Sam. Sam knew that Colombia had a baseball league. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
B, he knew where it was in the Cartagena, off the coast of that Cartagena, Barranquilla region. He's absolutely correct in regards to Colombia's baseball league is not nationwide. It is only in that small pocket between Cartagena and Barranquilla. It's like, I think like 7 teams in that league. And I discovered it a couple years back. So when he was mentioning it, when I was doing my research, I was like, okay, he was here for the baseball, but those aren't kids playing. Those are adults that are actually playing in Colombia's baseball league. So that's the kind of the part that threw me off, was like, wait a minute, that's not a little league team. That's a major team for Colombia. And those are all adult men that are playing in that league. And so for some of you guys that don't know that Colombia has that league, yes, it's up north, but it's only in that area. There's not a team that's in Bogota or Medellin or Cali. It's just in that small pocket, and it's like 7 teams, and they've been playing there for years, but it's all adults. Sam also made a statement about, I don't know if you watched the whole video that we made on him. He also made a statement about that he was getting like grants here, to be a teacher and help kids here with their English, because in the United States, he had just got fired from his job as a Spanish teacher. They hired him in September. He gets fired in early December, decides to fly to Colombia right around early April, gets caught up in what he got caught up in on April 8th, has warrants out for him for arrest. He's all over the news in the United States for threatening to delete the Board of Education and the head of the Department of Education, the black dude who had just signed a contract to be he's such a good Board of Education, head of a superintendent, that he had just signed his contract in March to be the superintendent of education. His brother, shout out to him, Corey. I forget his last name, Corey. I forget what it is, but he signed his contract until 2029. That's how, with unanimous votes. So this guy in Rachel, New York, who's the superintendent, told the Board of Education, do not renew Sam's contract. This dude is not stable. This is not what we're going to have. What does Sam do? Go to social media, threaten the guy, threaten the Board of Education. Police get the footage off of YouTube. They come directly to him. He gets out on like a small bond, flies to Colombia and does all the stupid things that he does, but everybody's watching you. That's probably the craziest part about this whole scenario of you being nationwide. But this crazy white T dude, the real culprit that went to at least 3 schools in Medellin, starting arguments and threatening children. Not one headline, just a little bit, but not one headline. Now, once again, this is not my country, so it's not my place to talk overboard in regards to it. But in regards to what this guy has done in the States, the guy Sam, I kid you not, and I showed his video of when he first got back to the United States as well. When he first landed, what did he do? He drops a YouTube video, and like you said, just doing a bunch of threats and rants about Colombia. And he actually did one prior to coming to Colombia. He did a YouTube video ranting about Colombia, and then had the audacity to come to Colombia, and had been coming back and forth to Colombia for over 10 years. This actual guy that we're looking at on screen right now. That's the part that disappointed me the most.
Yeah, he was giving them hell the whole time he was here. He was not an easy person to deal with. I tried my best to distance myself from him when they allowed me to leave the cell and spend time with my girlfriend and my lawyer. And I was like, look, leave me in here with them as long as you can. I do not want to go back in the cell with that guy. I'm not trying to be around him. I just got a vibe about this guy. I just got a vibe about him. And he's making things really uncomfortable in there. So they're like, all right, whatever, you can stay here. So most of the day they let me stay up until I think it was about 3 o'clock. So from roughly 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. they let me stay out of the cell and stay with my girlfriend. And then they let my friends bring me food and stuff like that. But I wasn't eating. I wasn't hungry. I was just trying to figure out what the situation was. So my lawyer is like, look, I'm trying to work out the best deal. Let me talk to them. Let me give me some time and we'll figure it out. We'll try to just get you home and we'll just pay a big fine. Okay, whatever. Pay the big fine. My lawyer comes back into the room after probably like 30 minutes. He's like, they're not going for it. The mayor personally has reached out and said that he wants you gone. The mayor has personally called and said he wants you gone. Like, the mayor know about me?
Unseen Medellin. Come on now. You know, everybody know about you.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know. And it's not like people know that it's me, so they're walking around, yo, Unseen Medellin.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So
Unseen Medellin, what up? Nobody knows.
That's a good point.
They might see me on Unseen Medellin, but they don't know that that's me.
True.
You don't know.
Because I didn't know that.
So my lawyer comes back in the room. He's like, hey, they're saying 10 years involuntary deportation. So you can get a voluntary or you could get an involuntary. Obviously, involuntary speaks for itself. Voluntary is kind of like a no contest when you go to court. I'm not necessarily saying I'm guilty, but I'm not necessarily saying I'm innocent. I'm just saying I'm leaving, and you guys don't have to push me out the door. That's basically what it means on paper. I'm leaving. Right. You guys aren't saying I have to leave, but I understand I have to leave.
Right.
So
it's almost like in the States when you have to no contest type of thing.
Yeah, no contest. Okay. That's what same thing, like a no contest, plead a no contest. So that was the negotiation from that point. Are we doing voluntary or involuntary? Because involuntary comes with an automatic 10-year ban. Voluntary can be between 2 and 5 years generally. It's 2 to 5 years. So we're talking blah, blah, blah. Bombshell. They're willing to negotiate. What do you know? And what do you think they're willing to negotiate for? Money.
5 years. Oh, for money. Oh, for money. Ooh.
Money. So, and this is something I've never told anybody. I'm saving some of this stuff. I'm giving you some parts of my rebuttal video, and I'm giving you, the inside scoop because, like I said, I appreciate your initial reporting and reaction to everything. And I said, if I'm going to tell anybody some good tea, I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to send you videos, and visually you're going to be the first person to see this type of stuff because nobody, I don't think, has ever showcased this type of footage or content of the deportation process from Colombia. So I know a lot of people who have been in this situation. They're looking at all of this and like, yeah, that's right. So, they came back in the room. It was, very quiet. It was hey, so they agreed to 4 million pesos for an involuntary for a voluntary deportation and a 2-year ban. That was the offer made to me by whoever is in charge. I've seen the guy underneath. I didn't see who the boss was, so I never got to really see him. They were going into an office, but the guy came back and said 4 million pesos. He's going to get a voluntary deportation in 2 years, and he can come back. 2 years, 5 or 10. Okay, I'll go thug it somewhere else for 2 years, and I'll be back. No problem, because I know that this is where I want to be. This is where my life is. I'm comfortable here. It's all good. So I called my girl. I said, babe, I need 4 million. She says, no problem. I got you. She goes back home. She gets the money. She comes back to the jail. She pays it. I told her, pay with a card or something that shows a receipt. Don't give them cash. Don't give them cash. Keep the receipt, because somehow, some way, I know that paisas can't be trusted in situations like this. I know that you can't trust police at word value. So make sure that when you pay that 1,000, you swipe it. So she did. She used her credit card. Boom.
Right.
Swipe. So it's documented. What was that $1,000 for? Hey, Immigration Colombia, what was that $1,000 y'all took from him? What was that for? Oh, y'all didn't want me to talk about that. That's right. Y'all told me not to talk about that, and that we were going to honor the deal. Another part of that $1,000, you know what it was for? You know what it was for, Dre?
No.
Not to put me on camera. Not to film me. Don't film me. That's the deal. Again, I'm Unseen Medellin. I know how this goes. I know this dog and pony and Dre. You know, you watch Game of Thrones? You ever watch Game of Thrones? You know when they walk Cersei, the walk of shame?
I remember that one. I remember that episode. They shaved their head.
Shame. I knew that was coming. So I said, look, you could film Homeboy. You could film the other 6 people in the jail. Don't put me on no cameras. I'm not doing the show for y'all. I'm not doing the walk of shame.
Right.
Because I know that that's what y'all want. And I don't know if y'all know who I am, but some people are going to care. They're going to see that and they're going to care. And I didn't know that they knew. I'm totally oblivious still at this point. I don't know to this right now. I just now heard what was the problem. They told me the video you posted with the street and the police over the dude. The mayor saw that personally, didn't like it. He saw the video where I talked about the video where I talked about the parties, and the video that I had with the wheelchair. Those were the 3 things that they said. And then they said there was a group chat. They said there was a group chat on WhatsApp that I was a part of. And in that group chat, they were discussing women and prices of women. I'm in plenty of group chats that I don't even communicate in. Colombia this, Colombia expats, Colombia party boys, Colombia this. I'm in plenty of group chats that people just add me to, homeboys just add me to. Oh yeah, let me put Capo in here too, because he always knows what's going on in the city. He can help out whenever some questions or something come up. I'm in probably 20 different group chats that I don't even respond to.
Right.
They said there was a group chat where they were speaking about women and the cost of certain women, which is a normal thing when you got a bunch of guys that are on their sex tourism And they're comparing, oh, well, this girl told me this and this girl told me that. Do you know this girl? Do y'all know this girl? I met this girl on Tinder. I met this girl in the park. There's all sorts of comparing notes and do you know this person? And is she okay? Is she cool? Does she really charge this much? Is she nice? Does she look good in person? Is it just Instagram filters? Those type of conversations are normal in any guys travel group chats. I said, there's nothing showing me ever giving a price of a female ever anywhere. There's no, you can't find it. If they could have found it, they would have put it all over the news like they did everything else that they found. They're not going to hold back evidence. If they found it, they're going to put it out there. So it's kind of weird that they never put out a lot of the evidence for the things that they claim I did do. What I did do, I did do. It's on video. It's on whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even though you can manipulate video and stuff like that, if it's on my page, what you see is what you get. Fair enough. I don't throw rocks and hide my hands. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I did that. Cool. So what? I'm a grown man. What? It wasn't illegal. What I said or did wasn't illegal. I didn't break a law.
So far, when it came to the application, you've already admitted, hey, I admit I could have been on it a lot more than I usually am. And I kind of let time lapse. I'll take that. And yes, okay, I did say certain things in some of my videos that you guys could have taken a different way. Okay, I admit that. So the things that do pertain to you, you're not sitting back saying, no, they doing this, but you do notice that there's a railroad portion to what's going on as well. That's what you're noticing.
100%. I picked up on it right away. If you look in your text too, I sent you the video when I caught immigration filming me for the campaign, and I caught the police filming me on their personal phones. And remember, that $1,000 was so explicitly I would not be filmed. And they told me multiple times, from the supervisor at the jail to when I first got to the airport and we parked that van, I said, I am not getting off the bus first. I see the guy in the corner right there with the camera with a big little smile, like waiting, like, go ahead, let him off, let him off, let him off. I got off the bus first. They said, no, go back on the bus. We're not ready. I said, what do you have to be ready for? They don't show that. So when I come off the bus the second time, that when you see how I look getting off the bus, that's because I'm pissed off because y'all took my money. Y'all took my money. You told me you wasn't going to do this to me. And now all of a sudden, I see the whole production social media team in the background.
Wow.
Played me. So, okay.
I do remember that from those clips that you sent me. Let me hit these super chats real quick. Thank you guys for being patient when it comes to the super chats and the Cash App and the PayPal. Just wanted not to interrupt my brother's thoughts. So thank you guys for being patient tonight when it comes to the super chats. My man, yep, that's Jay in the building. Jay says this. He say, Chill Capo. He said, I sent you a message on IG. He say the cops. In other words, I don't want to say certain things on the channel, but he said that he went through certain things with here himself. So he sent you a message on IG.
I hear you. I'll get to you.
And shout out to our sponsor for the night. Our brother Obi Land. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you in all that you do. We always try to donate to your channel by way of PayPal every time we do a reaction to your channel, and keep up the good work and helping guys out when it comes to being safe down here in Colombia. He says this. He say, big up to Capo for real. Feel kind of bad because you said that the vid was sent to you. Guy lying in it, and I remember that. I know exactly what vid you talking about, because I was going to do a reaction to it, but I just didn't have time. And was one of the reasons that you got caught up. Pissed for you, for real. We probably next. It's
not.
Yeah, and hopefully not.
Obi Land is one of the reasons why I started doing the change in my content, because I saw the value in what he was doing on YouTube and what he was trying to do to help people and educate people. And he is definitely a direct influence. I met him before too. I met him before in the park right outside of Glow. We were standing next to each other, and he was with the white guy that got drugged, and he caught the girl in Provenza.
Yeah, I remember that story.
They were together, and I was like, yo, this dude, I was like, this is Obi. What's up, my guy? Like I said, what's up? I don't know if he remembers, but yeah, Obi's definitely one of the people that we got to protect out there.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Because his content is necessary, because he's holding these people accountable. The problem with Colombia is nobody likes to be held accountable. If a gringo or a foreigner gets hurt or drugged or whatever, it's his fault. There's no remorse at all in Colombia when it's a foreigner that's suffering. Oh, the flight attendant, he's dead. He probably was a sex tourist. No, he wasn't. He was just at work on business and stopping in your country, in your city for the night, met some people that locally live here, and they killed him. So it doesn't fit your narrative that he's an S tourist. So it doesn't benefit you to keep pumping that information. And let's just hope it goes away, because he doesn't fit our narrative of only sex tourists die in Medellin. So why care about them? Let's talk about it.
I understand where you're coming from, Derek. Actually, I do understand where you're coming from. There are times where you feel like you're accepted, and there are times where you feel like being here, you misunderstood. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Shout out to my man Zay in the building with the $10 love over on the Cash App. Appreciate you guys this evening. Let's continue on in regards to, we talked about the current, we talked about your past. On a lighter note, let's go towards currently. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm just taking it day to day. Not really, like I say, you don't let the highs get you too high. You don't let the low get you too low. I licked my wounds for like 2 or 3 days. Like, oh shit, this shit sucks. You know what I mean? Because I thought I was going to be in Colombia for the next 10 plus years.
Right.
I didn't see myself going anywhere else. I was rooting in. Like, I was like, all right, we locking in here. This is, going to be where I'm going to be. And I didn't see it coming, but, that's life. Shit happens. You got to pick yourself up, not, be too down on yourself. At the end of the day, I could look myself in the mirror and say that I'm not a bad person, or I really deserve that. You know what I mean? Like, when you do some really messed up stuff and it's like, oh man, F everybody else. No, it wasn't that situation. What I did wrong, but what I did wrong, was it deportation worthy? No. And anybody that's sensible, that really knows the facts and can sit back and look, like the S tourism stuff. Okay, cool. If my clients are 98% males, single males that don't speak Spanish, they're coming to Colombia for their first time. They pick to choose Medellin. Where do they want to go? What do they want to do? They want to party. What's the most important factor of the party? The music type? Are there going to be women? Music, number one. Women, number two. Where am I going to take a group of guys that want to hear hip hop, reggaeton, or whatever combination of that has women that they could communicate to without any problems? Geddes Park. Every time. They want to start the vibe at Geddes Park. Who owns the businesses in Geddes Park? Colombians. Who benefits directly from the dollars and the bottles and everything being sold in Geddes Park? Colombians. Who creates, controls, and regulates what happens in the park? Colombians. Who are the police in the park? Colombians. But yet, I am the head, the face of S tourism.
Let me ask you this. Do we not do that to immigrants or visitors in the States? Especially to men of color.
100%.
They can't wait in the States to make us the face thereof. Whatever it may be, they want to make us the face thereof. The reason why I said that twice to you is I don't think it's one country and their government that has this mentality. I think that if not all governments have this, let's make this person the face thereof mentality, because we're quick to do it in the States, just like here and in any other country. Let's make that person the face thereof. Even when Obi-Land helps with some of the arrests of some of the ladies, they'll put some of the ladies out there. So let's make the one that they arrested a couple weeks ago, about a couple months ago, the one that was her nickname was Big Coochie, something like that, right? And they didn't blur her face out. They didn't have her looking down. They had her looking straight in the camera, and they wanted you to see she had a big juicy, and it was the face thereof. They didn't have her locked up, cuffed to 3 or 4 people. But we do that in the States. The reason why I say that is I'm trying to get, as I speak to you, I'm speaking to me and I'm speaking to the audience as well, that none of us are, until I get my citizenship later this year, none of us can sit back and say, well, it can't be me. That can never happen to me. Because as you explained, you've been in a solidified relationship for 3 years. You haven't gone out on your own in a year and a half as far as partying. So this myth of you being a party guy is not what, the truth. You have admitted that, okay, in hindsight, certain things I could have did a little differently. And we've all been like that in life. But to sit back and think that, once again, talking to the audience, that this can't happen to any of us, it can. It can. I kid you not. So if you guys think that I'm walking around Colombia because I'm married and because I'm a church dude, that I'm immune, that means nothing. Because they could take any video that we've created. We've made over 3,000 videos. So they could take any of the videos that we've created in the last 7 years and say, well, we found this one or that one. So don't just think that it can't happen or that the brother is fluffing up his story. Because I'm telling you, you guys know my story, and they can still walk through my door and say, sir, come with us. Just like they did this brother. Just like they did this brother. In hindsight, as we were talking in hindsight of 2020, T-Mac says this, and T-Mac has been in Medellin for a while like you have, and he said it can happen to anyone. And that's why I kind of like mentioned about comparing to United States, because none of us are immune. And I don't want you to feel like or think that, let me word this correctly. Any of us, when these lights go off and these mics go out, that we think, well, that was him, that can't happen to me. No, I don't walk around this country or any country thinking that it can't happen to me. And I don't want our audience to think that it can't happen to them and that you're an isolated incident and, well, that was him and tomorrow is a different day. No, we all, even if we walk the tightrope in any country, certain things can unfold. It really can. And so I just want to let you know, man, and feel comfort that we're not sitting around thinking like, oh, that was him, he's rare, or too bad for him. No, we're not thinking like that at all, brother. Because I kid you not, at the end of the day, no matter what I've done, I got enough sense to know your incident could easily be my incident. Easily be my incident. Let me hit this next super chat, and then we're going to talk about a question that I have for you. Shout out to Zeta being in the building. Boy, Zeta says this. He say, Dre, you were right. These dudes talk like girls, even in the internet, talking about the guys that be talking about prices and stuff like that. He say, talk like girls, even on the internet, discussing prices like Colombia can't see the taxes. Glad you okay, Capo. It's just crazy. Yep, it's crazy. And the other thing is, one of the things that I did, Cap, man, I kid you not, and I know that feeling of being like, I was in 33 WhatsApp groups. I think about a good 4 years ago, I just purged myself. I purged myself. So if in my WhatsApp groups, I got one Cali, Colombia WhatsApp group. Don't live in Medellin, so I'm really not in the Medellin-ish. I'm in 3 Cali event WhatsApp groups. I'm in one WhatsApp group that we created, and the rest of my WhatsApp groups are investments here in Colombia. So guys that invest in stocks, guys that invest in properties, guys that are kind of like business minded. Those are the expats that I communicate with. But like you said, people will just all of a sudden you just look at your phone. You have been added to so-and-so's WhatsApp group, and you like, all right, you ain't tripping about it, because when they add you and it's not that many people anyway, and the next thing you know, 6 months later, they're saying something in that group. You're like, I'm not even involved in that.
Literally, and that's what my lawyer said. He's like, is he commenting or is he just in the group? And it said he's in the group. It doesn't matter. He's in the group. This group is talking about X, Y, and Z. That's it. So my lawyer's like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, that literally means nothing. But whatever. They were trying to go down the route of he's selling women, and then I see the things about the private events, the private parties. He's got private event. I've never had a private event. The only private event that I ever did was a Super Bowl party at my house for me and my friends.
Wow.
It wasn't public. It was literally for my guys, their girlfriends, my girlfriend, because all of our girlfriends were friends. And we watched the Super Bowl 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago that I did that little Super Bowl vibe at my house. I don't do house parties because I don't like people in Colombia knowing where I lay my head and being able to say, oh, Capo lives there. Let's just wait for him out here. I don't need people to know my apartment number. I don't need people to know my building. I don't need people to know where my castle is. My castle is where it is, and you'll never know unless I specifically grant you access to it because I trust you. Another reason why I don't like dealing with the prostitutes is because I don't need hoes knowing where I live. I don't need the hoes knowing where I live. Have I brought a hoe to the house before? Okay, yeah, I have. But again, I've been there for 4 years. I've been with my girl for 3.
Right.
It's been a while.
Many moons ago. Right.
It's been a while. My girl's with me 6 days out the week.
Right.
And I need that one day to chill and just, do my own thing. But other than that, she's with me every day, locked in.
Brother, you are just like me. In the 10 years that I've been here in Colombia, Andre and I have had 3 guests outside of family. Colombia is always throwing family events. So 2 Christmases, we've had everybody over to our house for family.
Right.
For Christmas.
Right.
Most of the time for Christmas and New Year's, we're at everybody else's house. And among the guys that come to Colombia and make it down to Cali, 3 guys. Because we're just like you. Our home is our, like I always tell the guys, you got to have a bat cave. You got to have a fortress of solitude. Bat cave was boring. It had no villains in it. It was the bat cave. It's where he could relax, get his mind together. He could take his mask off. He could talk to Alfred. He could talk to Batgirl. He could talk to Catwoman. He could smash Catwoman if he wanted to. But it was the place that he was relaxed. Superman, no matter how strong he was, no matter how many planets he was going to fight on, he needed his place of solitude. He didn't need a bunch of people running in and out of the Fortress of Solitude. That's why it was called the Fortress of Solitude. And for all of us, we need a bat cave, just a place in these countries that nobody knows where you live, nobody knows your block, nobody knows your address. It just is what it is. And some of you guys, and that's why we have been so against inviting ladies to your house that you're not familiar with. And if you're really serious, go to the one, the Love. We did an episode a couple weeks ago on the Love Hotels, the 10,000 Love Hotels that are here in Colombia. Like we've got 16 just in our neighborhood, 16 of them. Really nice, very nice. They're not shabby on the inside. And we try to, have guys go there instead of just letting total strangers come to your house. And so I agree with you, brothers. So a lot of things that you've spoken on today that I didn't know about you. It's kind of funny that you and I think alike. I and my wife and your girl think a lot alike about how important our privacy is.
100%, especially when you're, like I said, I'm nobody, but people know me. You know what I mean? Like people know me. So at the end of the day, it's like I gotta protect my bat cave. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I gotta protect my bat cave. And having personal parties or private parties or freak offs or whatever it is that they were saying that I was doing just doesn't make sense, because number one, I live here. What do I need to rent a place for or get an Airbnb? I live here. I'm sleeping in my bed tonight. If I'm having sex, I'm having sex in my bed. I'm not having sex in a random bed in a random house and I pay rent over here. Right. I'm not doing that. So why would I do that? Not doing that. So that doesn't make sense. Every event, every party that I did in collaboration with a valid nightclub or venue was a public event. Anybody could have showed up. Anybody could have paid to get in. I did not profit off of that. I was simply paid for my marketing and my promotional skills by the club to do a job, and that's make their club event or whatever it is that was happening that night, make people aware of that. There's 30 days in the month. I had 2 events in the month that were I produced the event. Vibe Cartel. Look on my Instagram, Vibe Cartel. That is my party that I was paid to produce and host for bringing in talent, entertainment, DJs from America to entertain their crowd. Whoever's in there is in there. I didn't invite. Whoever showed up, they just showed up. I make the flyer, I book the guest, I give it to the club, they plaster it everywhere. It's a good team. It's a good 1-2 punch.
Is that one of the reasons that they say that they came after you was because of the promotion? And the reason why I say that is because that's the narrative that's out there, that you were doing these promotions, which you kind of mentioned, and they somewhat put that under the umbrella. And this is what I also thought. So give me a little clarity. As you being employed in a country or working in a country that legally you shouldn't have been working in, such as when we have immigrants or people that are visiting our country and they legally, without a green card, can't work in the United States. And so they work under the table. Do you think that that's one of the things that you could have, that you kind of like looking back in hindsight say, you know what, I could have dealt with that scenario of promoting a little differently?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, I could have not done the events, but I'm a lifetime promoter by heart. From Japan days to the Italy days, I was one of the biggest Japan hip hop promoters for years. Like if you went to Japan between 2007 and 2011, you know who I am. You've been to my events. I have people that stop me all the time. Yo, bro, this is going to sound crazy, but I was at your party in Japan in 2000 whatever. And I'm like, damn, you was there? And they like, yeah, bro, I remember you. Like that was the greatest night of my life. I was 17, 18, 19 years old. Military guys, young military guys to their first base. I was throwing parties at that time across the street from the base. So if you was in the military, specifically Navy or Marine Corps, Air Force too, you definitely saw me in Japan if you was out there. So it's just old habits die hard. It's not that it was about the money, because the money wasn't even giving me $500. Doesn't change my life.
Right. That's right.
It doesn't change my life. That's basically what they were paying me, $500, and then they covered the DJ's flight and hotel.
Right.
That was the trade-off. I think it was easier to paint the narrative about me using those party videos, but those party videos weren't private parties. Those were legal, everyday nightclubs that exist in Parqueyeres, and some of it was footage from Dulcinea and other places in Laureles. It just helped them paint the narrative that they wanted to paint. Should I have been technically working with the clubs? No, but it wasn't a problem until I stopped making a certain group of people money and I went across the street. Nobody had anything to say for 3.5 years, 3 years and 6 months.
Right.
Nobody had nothing to say. It was great. Since 2023, things was moving. Everybody making money. Bottles popping, thousands of dollars being made. Thank you, Capo. Thank you, Capo. Capo is the best. He's the savior, the king of the park. If it wasn't for him, all these brothers wouldn't be here.
Right.
I mean, that's how they treated me. And then one day they say, yo, we don't need you no more. Okay, cool. I'm going to take the action across the street because they said they need me. And they're paying better. So what is the coincidence that a month, let's say 2 months. It was 2 months that I stopped doing business with this group. And then they come back to me and say, hey, let's do business again.
Right.
I said, no, thank you. I'm good. Now that you're struggling, I'm good. I'm across the street. Immigration could have picked me up at any point in time. They've had my address, the same address, for 3 years. They knew exactly where I was any given time and day. They can come to my house, come pick me up, boom, 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 boom. Hola, Mr. Capo. I need to talk to you. We got a problem. Why do you think they did it the way they did it publicly at that club, at my party, sold out on opening night?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Let me ask you this. Here's another narrative that's out there, and maybe you want to clarify. And you spoke on it earlier. Is it 5 years or is it 2 years?
5 years. They told me. So again, the money was for a 2-year voluntary ban, no cameras, no media, no press. Shook on it. Signed the paper. My girl was a witness. She paid the $1,000. My lawyer was there because obviously they told him, give us $1,000. Tell him to give us $1,000. It's all good. My best friend was there. Third witness.
Wow.
They gave me 5 years. They filmed me. They made me the poster boy of sexual everything and literally single-handedly labeled me as the biggest tourism advocate / I don't know, P. Diddy of Medellin. Right. I don't know. But by the time, all I know is when I got on that plane, everything was all good. When I got off the plane in Miami, I'm put in handcuffs by Homeland Security and ICE. No. Sam is put in handcuffs by Home Security and ICE. We are the first 2 people to get off the plane. They said, Mr. Capo, Mr. McVeigh, step off of the airplane first. Nobody else stand up. That's the first thing they said when the plane landed in Miami. The plane lands in Miami. Step off the plane, Mr. Capo, Mr. McVeigh. I take one step off the airplane in Miami airport. ICE agents, DHS agents, put your hands behind your back, turn around, cuff your fingers. The hell? What happened since the time I landed 3 hours ago? What happened?
Right,
It's 4:30. It is 4:30 in the morning. Anytime. I'm in handcuffs. They take us back to the back of the room. They take us to the holding room. Sam has got this nervous, yeah, well, I'm sure happy to be home. At least you guys speak English. This is probably all a misunderstanding. They said, no, sir. This is not a misunderstanding. You have a warrant in New York. There's definitely no misunderstanding with you. With him, we don't know, so he's in cuffs. We don't know yet. They take me to the room.
I hear you.
They take me to the room, still in cuffs. They sit me down. They take Sam immediately to a cell. They put me in the little waiting area. Sam goes into a cell. Hour later, agent comes out. Come in the room. I want to talk to you. What are you doing in Colombia? How long have you been in Colombia? How much money do you make a month? Where do you live? What's your relationship status? What's your veteran status? Every question you could think of for an hour. They asked me. Cool guy, Latino guy, young, padded up everywhere. I'm like, oh, you one of the agents that took the $50K for the sign up. He's like,
right.
Yeah. I took the check. It was cool. I'm like, all right, no worries. He says, okay. After the end of the interview, everything's cool.
So this is ICE talking to you.
This is ICE and DHS, yeah. So he says, I need you to do a favor. Unlock both of your phones, write the code to each of your phones down, and leave your computer on the table. Now, I didn't get to leave Colombia with any of my stuff. They didn't let me go home. All of my property is still, as of right now, in my condo. Right now, everything is right where I left it. I was not allowed to go home. I was not allowed to get any of my items. I was not allowed to prepare anything. I went from jail to the airport. So all I had was a book bag that my friend grabbed all my electronics and met me at the airport, handed it to me, gave me some pound. Good luck, bro. Call me when you get back home. So I unlock my devices. I give up my devices. He gives me a piece of paper. He's like, read this piece of paper. It says that we have the legal right to go through all your devices, and we can search through anything and hold it for up to 30 days if we feel it necessary to continue our investigation. I said, what am I being investigated for? As I unlock everything, he says, oh, Colombia told us that you are a sex crimes deportee, and we are looking for evidence of child pornography or sexual crimes. Do you have something to tell me? I said, no, sir. The code is 702, blah, 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 blah. Look away. Mind you, I did not know this was going to happen to me. I had no idea that I was going to be put in handcuffs 0.1 of a second after stepping off that airplane. I had no time to go through my phone, try to wipe it, clean it, do anything, because I'm not expecting to have any problems when I land in my home country. Now, Sam, he probably expected that. I didn't expect that. So an hour and a half go by. Now I'm getting a little nervous because I'm like, what the fuck do I have in my phone that they're still looking through? So 2 hour mark, the agent comes back. Come talk to me, Capo. No problem. The first question he asked me, do you know anybody that has ever been arrested or convicted for child sexual abuse? No, I don't. He's like, at any point in time, have you ever trafficked, sold, or did anything that would be considered pimp activity
Mm-hmm.
Any of the women in Colombia? I said, no. I have a girlfriend.
Right.
He said her name. She's 26 years old, right? You're right. He was like, she's from blah, 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 right? Right again. Your son, he's about to graduate high school, right? Correct again. He's just letting me know that he knows everything already. He just wants to see what my answers are going to be. And behind him, he has a bunch of monitor screens with all of I'm looking at my entire phone, records, call logs, WhatsApp, Instagram DMs. He has it all on a screen, like a mastermind, like Batman, you know, the Batman layer. He got all the big.
Right.
That's what it looked like. And he has everything on the screen. I'm looking at it like, damn, he done went through that. He done looked at that. He didn't see them videos. Damn. Oh, well, fuck it. Didn't commit a crime. So after he's like, you're good, man.
Like
Fuck
the
Colombia.
Matrix. Like the architect of the Matrix.
Yeah. So he's like, you're good, man. Fuck Colombia. They're a bunch of liars. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, bro, they told us that you were dealing with children and sex trafficking women and blah blah. He's like, in the notes where we first initially read 2 deportees, American deportees coming in, this is what they're accused of. They had you and him listed under the same category: sex crimes, pedophilia, all of that. Look for all of this. So I'm like, what? Colombia told you this? They say, yes, sir. Colombia told us this based on our investigation, going through all your devices, your 2 cell phones and your computer. We see 0 evidence to back up their claim. We already know about your relationship with your girlfriend. She lives with you. We understand everything that there's no way you had any time to prepare for what we just did to you. Thoroughly searched your devices. He's like, I've seen every photo, every comment, every text, everything. I've seen he's like, I know more about you than you know. Fair enough. He was like, they're full of shit. You can go, bro. Go ahead, catch your next flight. Have a good day. Welcome home.
That's crazy. That's a plot twist for you. That's a plot twist for you, man. And I'm glad that they let you go. There wasn't any overnighter moments. I'm glad that, you know, you didn't have anything that they were going to kind of play 3-card Monte with and try to act like it was something when it was not there. I'm glad that they, you know, back in the States, they just say, you know what? Here's your phone. Here's your information. Welcome home. And you went about your way on your flight to Vegas. I'm glad that happened for you in regards to that, because you already had based off all the video and all the information that you just showed us over tonight, you've had a very tempestuous ordeal that you've dealt with, and then to get off a plane and see and have cuffs waiting for you. Now Sam, somehow, some way, Sam was able 12 hours later. Sam was able to drop a video at home on YouTube.
And insight on that, because I was in the room when all of that was happening with his situation. So basically, they only have so much time that they can hold you, because again, they're not FBI, they're not, you know what I'm saying, they're local police and Department of Homeland, they're federal. Now they can hold you for X amount of time, and then they contact the state of New York. Because I heard the lady say, hey, what's up with McVeigh? Have you called New York? What are we supposed to do with him? That was the question. I'm there for 3 hours. It's only me and him that they have. So it's 4:30 in the morning. So I'm just sitting there on the bench listening to everything that's happening. And his situation was New York wasn't responding because obviously it's 4 or 5 in the morning. Nobody's probably in the office. So they held him for the amount of time that they were legally allowed to hold him. And then they let him go because they're like, hey, New York will deal with it whenever they deal with it. We're not here. We're looking for terrorists, and we're looking for people that were arrested for whatever major crimes.
Right.
So as they let me go to my flight, I see him in traffic at the other security checkpoint. And he's like, yo, what's up, bro? And they're going through his stuff. They're opening. He's got a bunch of stuff for kids in his bag. He's got like Play-Doh and like kids stuff. He's got a lot of kids stuff in there. And he's like, oh, it's for, I said, damn, bro, what you doing? Are you building a Lego collection or something? Like, what'd you do? You buy all the Legos or Play-Doh and stuff? And he's like, oh, it's for my nephews. It's for my nephews. And in my mind, I'm like, man, this dude, like, this is the dude that they put next to me. And I feel like me being connected to him and at that moment on that day just made my situation so much worse, because the story ended up coming out that his story got put with my face and my name. A lot of Colombian sites that were tagging me, when you read it, they're talking about him and they're using my name and using my face on his story.
Yes, they did that on in the newspapers. You guys were joint in the newspapers. One newspaper headline had you first in the article and then him second, and then another one that I came across as I was doing research on him but it had you as the face, and then another one had him as the face and he was first in the article, and then put you in the article. So yes, they definitely Bonnie and Clyde'd you guys in the media.
And that was horrible for me. If I would have just been by myself, I could have just been able to, who knows how the narrative would have went, if it would have went the same way. But I feel like that added that extra fuel of hate that I was getting because it wasn't just like, oh, you overstayed your visa, get the fuck out of my country. It was, you effing pedophile, effing N-word, get the F out of my country. You're a piece of S-word, you're this, you're that. Like, they was going crazy on me. And I'm like, hold on. What are y'all reading right now? What are y'all being told by who? And I'm going through and I'm watching the YouTubes. Like, I'm watching reaction videos. I'm watching all these people talk about me. Colombian, Americans, my people in the States are blowing me up. Bro, you're all over my timeline. You're all over my YouTube. You're all over my Instagram. You're all over TikTok. Millions and millions of people are seeing your face and seeing these headlines. It's not good. It's not good, especially for me. I'm a public guy. I'm out a lot. So a lot of people that know me, they know it's bullshit, but it's like, damn, maybe I didn't know him. Maybe he was doing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he Diddy of Medellin having the freak offs quietly that I didn't know? You don't know.
Wow.
So I'm handling all of this incoming. All of this is coming. Mind you, again, I'm still under the impression that $1,000 that I gave was supposed to stop all of this. And it just intensified. It went 10x worse than what I envisioned was going to happen. After the first day, I didn't really see nothing. By that second day and that first tag notification came up, and then the next thing I know, hey, bro, the mayor just posted you. Hey, bro, Radio Colombia just posted you. Hey, bro, Immigration Colombia just posted you 2 times. Como? As my people say, como? Like, what? What? Me? Not Sam?
Right.
Not Sam? And as I'm looking through everything on the internet, I see your video. And I'm like, I'm watching it. I'm just in my living room and I'm watching it and I'm listening to what you're saying and again, all's fair in media. You know what I mean? You don't really know the 100%, but I felt like you were being the most fair. Like when you were specifically just talking about me, like I felt like you were being fair. You weren't being, one way or the other. It was just, hey, this is what's being reported. This is what we know. This is all I know. And you were just speaking your opinion on what you knew. And I don't have a problem with that. But what impressed me is the fact that you was like, who's the guy in the red hat? You're the only one that took the time to say, yeah, Capo did blah, 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 blah. I get that. I hear you. Not that bad, but if everything that they're accusing is true, okay, I can see why you deported him.
Mm-hmm.
But why did the white guy just skate all the way around? He's hardly ever filmed in anything. They wanted me. And you can go to those clips that I sent you where the immigration officers are filming me on their cell phone. The ones that I sent you, if you could put those up on the screen.
I can't show those with the officers.
Well, the immigration.
Yeah, I can't show those.
I'll show it on my page. Don't worry. I got anybody who's watching this.
I can't say that the cameras were on you and not on him. And the only
I just want you to see.
Only reason I noticed him was because of the red hat. Because it was they said it was 3. I didn't know that the other guy was Dominican, but I said that's a MAGA hat. I said, wait a minute, Paul, who was that? Man, it took me at least 8 hours of homework to track down his name, where he was from, and brother, the further down that rabbit hole I went, it was like an unsolved mystery. It was like, this can't be real. And I kept going down there. I said, I cannot wait to do this live stream. I said, because everybody's focusing on the brother. I said, but nobody's following the and then he was a MAGA dude that was like calling Donald Trump Uncle Donald and Uncle Trump. And I should have voted for him, and I didn't. And he just was just, and then he just did a whole 10-minute montage on his dislike for Colombia before he flew. I'm just watching. So any of you guys that have not watched that particular video we did like 3 days ago, you might want to check it out. You might want to check it out because he's absolutely correct. Capo is absolutely correct. The true culprit in this whole scenario was the white T dude. That was the dude that was going up there messing with the kids at 3 schools. See, they tried to sell it as if he went to just one Colombian school and started causing problems. No, he actually went to at least 3 to 4 schools and tried to get into the buildings. That was the crazy part. He tried to get into the buildings, pretending like he was a Spanish teacher. And since he was a Spanish teacher in the States and was hired for that, then he lied about having a doctorate because he was so jealous of the black guy who was the superintendent of his city, the Board of Education, that has a doctorate. He started calling himself doctor on all of his YouTube videos. He started introducing himself as doctor this, doctor that. And I'm like, dude, for my homework, you don't have a doctorate. And then he lied and said, well, I'm in school right now for my degree to become a lawyer. I'm like, which one is it? Are you in school to become a doctor? Okay, so you're a doctor. Let's say that, a PhD. But the best job that you can get in New York is a Spanish teacher. And you can only keep that job from September to the December they fire you. And you get fired and you complain because they paid me $98,000 and I should be making $140. And if all of them are done, and then you literally on social media says that you're going to take artillery and pulverize the Department of Education and the superintendent, the brother. I'm like, oh, bro, what are you doing? And then you get on the phone. The more research I did, I kid you not, man, I was running back and forth to the bedroom just telling my wife, Andrea, the more that I learned. And I kid you not, the more I was learning about him, the more your story was disappearing in my mind, because I couldn't believe that this madman even made it into the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my biggest frustration.
Prior to that's the crazy part.
That was my biggest frustration. Because at the end of the day, it's like I've been here. I've been a overall good citizen. I haven't been in any trouble. I haven't caused any problems. There's no police, needing to come to my house for anything. There's nothing going on. At the end of the day, did I make mistakes? Yeah, sure. There's things I said. There's things I shouldn't have said. Fair play. But to make me this national media villain, and the guy standing right next to me is actually the guy that you guys are really, really like, y'all would have strung him up and he would never even made it to the airport had the locals had their way with him. But he just went totally under the radar.
Yeah.
Nobody even gave it a second look.
No.
Shout out to my homegirl, Mariah. Mariah, you know, we spoke and, you know, I reached out to her and I said, hey, look, I'm a fan of your work. I like what you do. Do I always agree? No, but you do your research. You're consistent. And I respect that about you because I'm in the same space and I can recognize when people are doing it right. Yeah. When people are just doing it for clicks and likes and whatever. And at the end of the day, you don't know me, but let me tell you who I am. Let me explain to you what happened and let me tell you why, you know what I'm saying, the things went the way it did. And she heard me out. We had a good 45-minute phone call. And then she said, hey, you know what? I appreciate you reaching out. It was good talking to you. I understand better the situation. So in the future, like if anything does come up, I can speak on it. And I can also speak on Mr. Sam.
Correct. She was on the show last night in our comments because we did the reaction to her debate that she had.
Yeah, I sent it to her. I said, yo, go.
Okay, cool.
Check it out. I sent her the link. I said, hey, you know what I mean? It's moving. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And that was the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, man. I've been trying to catch up with her in regards to her content because I've been like for a minute I was like, oh, here we go, another passport, sis. But then I sat back and we're talking about the sister that's in Medellin right now, Mariah Sincere. A shout out to her. Make sure you guys subscribe to her content. And initially I was like, oh, here's another passport sis doing what passport sis do. But I sat back and I was fair and just sat back and watched her and what type of content she really does. And I'm like, you know what? And she does her homework too.
Yep.
And so I sat back and I was like, you know what? So when she came on, I straight out the gate gave her an apology in regards to now I understand her perspective in regards to her content. And shout out to her, man. Great to have somebody down here that, like you said, you could tell when somebody is doing it right and when somebody's just doing the clickbait thing.
Right.
Let's kind of because it's going on 3 hours, and I'm glad that you've been here. And shout out to all you guys that are here. Let me hit these last couple of super chats with the latest with some of these brothers, not the last, but the latest. Will says this. Will says, shout out to you, Will, with the 10,000 Colombian pesos. He said, if that's truly happened because a country says that about a citizen without proof, it's actually very dangerous. Wow. I'll say this again. We do this in our own country, guys. We do that. Americans, we have a bad habit of when we see something unfold in another country, we forget that we are infamous for making people disappear. Guantanamo Bays, anyone? Guantanamo Bays? We are notorious for making people disappear. There are U.S. citizens that are still trying to fight to get out of the the El Salvadorian prisons right now. U.S. citizens that ICE picked up and say we did it and shipped them out by mistake. So our country is notorious for allegations and using the media to flip the narrative. So if our country does it, from what I've seen, most countries do it because they can. And that's the number one thing that I could say. Because we are all just one person as citizens, one person apiece, and they're a whole group as far as governments and mayors and governors and presidents, and they can flip any of our narratives the way that they want. And so it's sad, but it's true. And Will also says this with the next 10,000 pesos. He said, I would use that testimony from DHS and ICE to sue the Colombian government. I wouldn't know. There are international laws that cover this type of behavior. let's end this with on a positive note. You made a statement earlier, and Kobe, shout out to official Kobe, the official one, asked, where to next? And you mentioned that, hey, I ain't gonna be here shortly anyway. And based off of hearing your travels adventures, where to next?
I'm gonna save the reveal for when I'm there.
I kind of figured you were gonna say that. I saw that look on your face. Okay, cool.
It's already, the ticket is booked. The ticket is booked, and I'll put it like this. I won't be too far away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
I'll be in the neighborhood.
Okay, cool. A man that enjoys where he's going to be. Okay, great. Do you have anything in closing that you would like to share with the audience?
All I got to say to everybody and anybody, first off, shout out to you. I appreciate you, Dre. You know what I mean, for allowing me to come speak on your platform.
Yes, sir.
I have seen you before in the past, but I just, we be so focused and locked into our own world sometimes. Like, it's like I'm trying to do Unseen Medellin. But I've definitely seen you before. I didn't think that I would end up on your platform this way, but I appreciate the opportunity to say my piece. You're one of the few people that actually does this and I respect. So I'm definitely honored to be on the show. To everybody that's watching, man, don't let my situation necessarily discourage you from visiting Colombia. Colombian people overall are very kind people, very welcoming people overall. They just feel very passionately about their country. And when somebody is, perceived as a threat or a bad, addition to their city or their country, they're going to do what they do, just like anybody else, any other country, they're going to defend their turf. So I don't want people to look at my experience and necessarily say, oh man, screw Medellin or F Colombia there, Can what happened to me happen to anybody? Sure, of course. But 9 times out of 10, if you're just visiting, you're not going to have problems. Respect the land, respect the people, respect the laws. Don't do what you wouldn't do at home. Don't do it there, and you'll be just fine. You'll have a good experience. I don't know what the future is going to be in Medellin. For those of y'all that do like to go there and party and do the nightlife stuff, it seems to me that the country is doing everything that it can to control and limit the activities that are happening in Parquilleras and other parts of the city. And I don't know what the future with that is going to be. I'll keep reporting and doing what I do on Unseen Medellin, but your best guess is mine. Stay tuned. Hopefully, I'm not the trend of something that's going to be happening more often. Hopefully, they just use me as the warning shot and they leave all the other great influencers and people in Medellin alone. Because overall, most of us in the city are actually decent people, decent human beings, just trying to earn some extra money and do what we got to do to, shed light and educate people in our space, which is the travel space, people that travel. So don't let it discourage you. I appreciate everybody for listening. If you do see any, articles or anything, and you're on my Instagram and you see people, saying incorrect information, hey, don't be afraid to defend your boy in them comments too, man. Don't be afraid to speak up, because you people are one of the few people that know the truth. And I spoke the truth honestly as I could. And it is what it is, man. I'm going to the next spot, the next destination. You will be seeing me in the next 3 weeks in a new spot. And the story doesn't end, man. One monkey don't stop the show.
That's right.
That's
right. That is right. Well, that's great to hear you that you are, you're not letting grass grow up under your shoes. So that's great to hear that you've already got a new destination. You got your tickets already paid for, and that you're going to be enjoying yourself in your new location. At the end of the day, guys, as we were saying, these scenarios can happen to any of us. None of us are prone. Now, will it happen to most of us? I don't think so. And our brother doesn't think that either. But we do know one thing, that this scenario has taught all of us that no matter what country we go to, there is no such thing as immunity until we get our citizenships. Now, for those of us that are on the level of getting our citizenships, okay, cool. And until I officially get mine, I'm still in the same scenario as my brother Capo, as any other brother that has gone through this scenario as well. None of us are immune to what could happen to us in other countries, just like none of us are immune to certain scenarios that could happen to us even in our home country. Shout out to you, brother, for being here, man. We appreciate you sharing your story. It looks like you got us up there on the screen as well in the background. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. I had everything on the screen. Because I was like, I don't know when it's gonna start, but I'm
yes,
watching.
sir. And also, any of the clips that you need to use from this particular episode, feel free to use the clips. Don't think that I'm one of the funny style content creators. Always feel free to use the clips. And that goes for any of you guys, that if you could get the narrative out here and you're a content creator, you want to use in the clips tonight, feel free to use the clips. Y'all know I ain't funny style. I ain't using it again anyway. So, so ain't like we're going to do this interview over. So guys, feel free to use the clips or for YouTube shorts or anything that will get the narrative out there that none of us are immune in any country. And as I said, even in our home country.
I'll tell you what, the next time we do this, I'm going to be at the new location and we'll do a little follow-up. We'll do a little follow-up, nothing crazy, little power 30 minutes.
Okay. Deal. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Great time, man. I'm going to let you go to enjoy the rest of your day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time, man. Everybody out there, salute. Follow me on Instagram at Chill Capo. Follow Unseen Medellin and follow Las Vegas Scoop if you're coming to Las Vegas. Appreciate the time. I'm out.
All right, brother. All right, guys. This was fun. This was fun and informative. Appreciate all you guys that were here. We got up to like 140 people here this evening. We appreciate that. Every one of you guys that have subscribed, all you guys that support and watching from Andrea's channel, all you guys that are watching live from Love Crossing Borders and Andrea Wallace TV. We appreciate that. This video was not a slight against Colombia. We are not anti any country on this channel. We don't know all countries and we don't know all narratives, but we will allow a person to come on and share their story and their experience. And I like the fact that he ended it off by saying that, hey, guys, don't let my experience deter you from going to Colombia, or going to Medellin. That would be the same thing that I would say if it were me. I mean that, guys. If it were me, and I'm going to get to the super chats. And shout out to my brother Blade Runner for the $5 love on the Cash App. If it were Andre Spence, guys, I tell you, don't let what happened to me deter you from enjoying Colombia, Cali, Medellin, Cartagena, the coffee region, or whatever it may be, or whatever other country in South America, because things do happen. And the best thing that I've seen from this brother is this. This was just a moment or season in his life, and he's already set himself up for the bounce back. That's what makes people different. King David, there are over 20 kings. I'll give you an example. Between the book of Samuel in your Bible and Chronicles, there were over 20 kings. Horrible kings. Horrible. King David wasn't that good either. So what made God say King David was a friend after his own heart? If King David was a womanizer, he set up one of his best friends to get killed. He couldn't keep his kids from killing each other. So how was it that he was able to say that God said that King David was one of my boys? King David was one of the few kings that had the bounce back. He said, hey, this moment happened in my life, my bad. And he moved on to the next stage. That's what the brother just did. He said, hey, I admit some of the things that I could have did differently. My bad. But just like King David, I'm bouncing back and I'm moving to the next stage of life. And that's for all of us. This has been a lesson for all of us that are watching this live stream, that things happen to us men, but one of the benefits of being a man, we don't get emotional. We just bounce back. Shout out to you guys. Zeta says this. He said, Capo, you should visit Cambodia. You'll love it. You'll love it. I'm looking forward to going out there on that side of the world myself. T-Mac says this. He said, I think that you might have a super chat. Let me scroll up, make sure I didn't miss anyone. Because I got Jay and I got my man. Shout out to my man being in the building. Yep, that's Jay. I like that name. Yep, that's Jay. So we went there. Zeta says this. He said, Dre, you were okay. I did that one. IMS in the building. Salute to you, kind sir. I didn't get a chance to really give you a shout out when you came in, but we were in the middle of the interview. A man supporting men. Make sure you guys follow him on TikTok and Instagram. Yes, sir. TikTok and Instagram. Always dropping some gym videos, some gems. Yes, sir. Let me make sure I got Will, both of his. And shout out to all you guys that are here. Make sure you click that like button. We like you. Make sure you like us too. All right. If you guys want to go into the second half of today's video, let me know, or should I do it tomorrow? I have a section called the new tourist or form of tourism that Colombia is looking for. If you guys want to save that for tomorrow, we can, or we could just go through it tonight. I know it's been 3 hours, so let me know what you guys want to do. Because like I said, there are 5 new forms of tourists that Colombia is preparing itself for. A lot of you guys are like, hey, they used us. They made all this money off of us and now they're kicking us out. Either day, you say it's the weekend. Okay, cool. He said the weekend. He said the clip that I posted about you is being among the laziest women. Got the late. Oh yeah, yes. I saw that one. That was funny. Yeah, tomorrow will be great. Like T-Mac said, it's the weekend. Zay said tomorrow will be great. We're going to talk tomorrow. I already have the video already scheduled. The 5 type of tourism that Colombia is trying to reach for. Some of them have already been here, and some of them have a growth. I want to just, before we go into that, for tomorrow's show, I do want to share something with you guys, that's statistics that's going to lay a foundation for tomorrow. Statistics. You know, I love some good old-fashioned stats. Let's go here. Actually, I put that in my deep seek right here. And give me a second. Okay. I looked up in Ask DeepSeek the percentage of in regards to tourism. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for either. But what I was breaking down is this regarding tourism in Colombia. And a lot of guys don't know this. Did you know that 75% of all tourism in Colombia have nothing to do with parties, pay for play, any form of hedonism? I know a lot of guys think that a majority of tourists that come to Colombia, because you look at Cartagena airports and you look at Medellin airports, and you assume that most people that are coming here got to be here for the parties, got to be here for some type of pay for play or some type of hedonism. And nope, that equates to only 25% of the tourists. And so they decide, which is kind of wise on the business side, let's cater to the other 75%. So tomorrow's show is dedicated to who are the other 75% that Colombia is catering to and doing so much investing for. Because that 25%, they're kicking out. If you just on party mode in Colombia, you gotta go. If you pay for, you gotta go to pay for play guys. If you hedonist, you gotta go. Why? Because they're making so much money from the other 75%. So we're going to talk about tomorrow, who are the new tourists that Colombia and many countries are catering to get the big bucks. We thought the parties were big bucks, but Colombia is saying that there is a larger group of people that's really bringing in money. So shout out to all the guys, the rewatch crew, the replay crew. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to my man Rico. A dude. He said, yes, I knew that most people go for other purposes. Absolutely correct. So shout out to all you guys. I'm going to let you guys enjoy some of the outro videos. Let's get some outro videos in. We'll start, let's start with the Blazing Chicks. Oh, let's start right here.
Que no pierde ni una, es de aquí, pero parece de cuna. Pero así no le piche a ninguna. Criminal como una para que ella sabe que de la disco no la van a quitar. Los fines de semana son tan sentos, hay que vacilar. Ready, con ropita cortita para janguear y tirar. De mí se deja llevar, combina la ropa con tu actitud, es que dominas. Chica con esa virtud, rompe bocinas. No hay nadie como tú, como tú, como tú, como tú, ya, combina la ropa con tu actitud, es que dominas. Chica con esa virtud, rompe bocinas. No hay nadie como tú, como tú, como tú, como tú. Ella es mi gata, ya, perrea en la disco como nadie más. Ella es mi gata, yeah, ella es mi gata, ya, ella es mi gata, ya, perrea en la disco como nadie más. Ella es mi gata, yeah, mi gata, ya.
Un traguito de cine para la gata en la barra. Te vi por internet en una playa en Nicaragua. Ese buffet sí está gourmet, pero lleno de piraña. El río está movido, que está nada las arañas. Por eso que tú te acercas a mí. Te gusta mi actitud, como te hago reír. Me encanta cómo besas, cómo me haces sentir. Eres especial, eres sola para mí. Y si nos vemos en Bahamas, ahí no hay nadie que nos daña. Una copla de madrugada, ya lo saben, tú mi reina y yo tu rey. Estamos listas en Bahamas. Aquí hay bellas madrugadas, romántico en la playa. Ya lo saben, tú mi reina y yo tu rey.
Ella es mi gata, ya, perrea en la disco como nadie más. Ella es mi gata, yeah, ella es mi gata, ya, ella es mi gata, ya, perrea en la disco como nadie más. Me gusta gozar y vacilar, yeah, no traguito de Fernet. Pasarlo, no solo tal vez. A ella le gusta gozar y vacilar, yeah. Cuando uno traguito de Fernet, se ve toda la timidez. Pasarlo, no solo tal vez. Ella es mi gata, ya, perrea en la disco como nadie más. Ella es mi gata, yeah, ella es mi gata, ya, ella es mi gata, ya, perrea en la disco como nadie más. Ella es mi gata, yeah, mi gata, ya. En fiesta es que no pierde ni una, es de aquí, pero para